Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Latimer Park for the City Security Service Limited Challenge Cup second round tie. Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Kings Lynn Town, the Linnets, and you can hear this game live and see the highlights on our website a little later. With me once again, as always, is Ed Palmer. Evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, absolutely average. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Later on summarisation, we will have John Dunham, the Northamptonshire Telegraph. He'll be up there in the commentary box with myself, and we hopefully will get one of the managerial team and players after the game. Well, last Saturday we had we kept the pressure, really, didn't we, on the chasing pack with a superb 3-0 away win at Needham Market. All the goals, second half, all spectacular. And a brace from Lyndon Meikle was man of the match. Aaron O'Connor scoring his first this season. It was superb, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, first half was one of the worst first halves I think we've ever seen. There was nothing to talk about. And actually, if you watch the highlights, the minute silence probably was the most exciting bit of it.
It's the only highlights I've seen where the minute silence actually is in full. Yes.
But the second half was incredible. I mean, Kettering came out with a completely different game plan, and it worked perfectly. And you know, just when Needham Market thought they had a chance of nipping something from the game, Kettering just turned it on. It was like a switch. All of a sudden, they just turned it on, and they are three of probably the best goals you'll see this season.
And if you haven't seen those goals, you can see them on our website. Go in there, see the highlights. They're not very long, about 2 minutes or so, but seeing those goals, they'll all feature, I would think, in our goal of the month a little later on. Highlights again will be of this match tonight against Kings Lynn. Will be on the Poppies TV website later in the week. Also the post-match interviews as well. Well, since the last time we were at Latimer Park, we have signed Dan Holman, which was a surprise, from Aldershot. He was on the bench against us in the FA Cup. And defender Bradley Cusani, who played for St Albans City as well. Dan Holman has a very, very good pedigree indeed. Played for quite a few of the non-league sides. They played for Colchester United as well in the Football League. Played for Cheltenham Town. He's played for Woking. Played for Aldershot, Dover, Leyton Orient. You know, he started off his career at Cutner and Long Buckby. Somebody that was hinted that might be coming. It was announced on Thursday by Aldershot that he left the Shots, and the speculation then started that he could be a Kettering Town signing. What do you make of it?
I think it's signing of intent. I mean, that now leaves us up front Aaron O'Connor, Andre Borg, Rhys Honus and Dan Holman. Now, I don't know, I've never been a defender, so I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't expect most of the league's defenders to have welcomed that news. I mean, Dan Holman scored, I think, for Cheltenham, I think he scored 16 goals in 18 appearances for them before he got injured, and that's, I can't remember whether they were League Two at that time or Conference, but even at those levels, that's incredible. I think it's a case of Kettering and now going, you know, all or bust, because, I mean, we won't obviously talk about what people seem to think our budget is. Obviously, those speculations won't be helped with the signing. But
quite frankly, we don't care.
Yeah, we don't know what it is.
I don't care what it is. I don't know what it is.
We don't know.
Don't want to.
We don't know. We don't care. We don't want to know. But the fact of the matter is, that's a massive signing, and I think that the majority of defenders in this league will have seen that and gone, "Oh, for goodness sake!" Now they've got to face, you know, Aaron O'Connor, who is back and firing. His first start this season on Saturday, he got a goal from. They've got Dan Holman, Rhys Honus, who's been banging in goals and getting penalties for fun, and Andre Borg, who is so much of a handful. It's, you know, that front
four. You've on the all-time striker Brett Solkin, of course. He's there
already
got 10 goals this season.
Yes, true. Yeah, true. But you know, that front four is incredible. And even if you could play a more attacking 4-4-2 and even put Borg and Honus out on the wings and have Holman and O'Connor up top as strikers. I mean, they'd absolutely play havoc with the defenders.
He does indeed, and we'll see how he goes on tonight. He is playing tonight. We've got the Kettering Town team, and it is quite a strong team indeed. I mean, we'll talk about this competition in a few moments, the League Cup, the various League Cups, but Kettering's Town side is very, very experienced indeed, and it reads like this.
Yes, I mean, we were told it was going to be all kids, and I know we've got a young team, but it's not exactly a kids' team. I mean, number 1 is Lewis Elsom, then we've got number 2, Darrell Berry, 3, Ben Toseland, 4, Brett Solkin, 7, Lyndon Meikle, 8, Aaron O'Connor, 9, Dan Holman, 14, Marcus Kelly, 15, Declan Towers, 17, Andrea Borg, and 19, Bradley Kazeni. With the exception of Elsom and probably Kazeni, although we've not seen a lot of him, that's first team, essentially. That's, that is a lineup that is as close to the first team as we can get without being one. I mean, on the bench, we've still got Ben Milnes, Dion Kelly-Evans, Joe Massaro, Nathaniel Roturner and Cal Templeton. I mean, Milnes, Kelly-Evans and Roturner are first team players on the bench.
Honus is not even in the squad.
Honus isn't even in the squad. And this is a side that, I'll be honest, could win games at our level comfortably win games, and not the odd 1-0. If you put this team up against someone in mid-table, bottom half of this league, that team will get you 3 points.
Well, Kings Lynn have got a different side out to the side that played here earlier on in the season. They read like this. In goal is Alexander Street, 2 is Kieran Shipp, 3 is Jack Noble, 4 Craig Palmer, 5 is Owen Gilbert, 6 Rory McCauley, 7 Dylan Edge, 8 Kieran Stannard, 9 Harry Lim, 10 Nathan Dorr and 11 Jack Frohawk. And these subs are 12 Eddie Cronson, 14 Charlie Rutland, 15 Joseph Gascoigne, 16 Ryan Hawkins and 17 Chris Henderson. The last 2 there are quite well named, aren't they? So
that's a kids team.
Well, there's a few first teamers in there,
there are,
but
there's that's nowhere near the strength that Kettering are putting out.
Well, Ian Culverhouse is back with the Linnets, isn't he?
Yes.
It gives him a chance, I suppose, to look through his squad and see what he's
Let's be honest, Ian Culverhouse has been... we don't know this for sure, but he will have been given the brief by the chairman, that much-loved chairman, that he's got to come in and get a playoff place, at least. So I think this competition will not be high on Kings Lynn's agenda. Not with the job that Ian Culverhouse has been given to do after such a poor start in the league. Kings Lynn fans, after the past couple of seasons, won't accept not getting in the playoffs at all.
Well, this is the 3rd managerial change this season. Yeah. That's remarkable, isn't it?
And I'm amazed he's gone back, because all of the mudslinging he did on Twitter when he left that club about the chairman, the club itself, and he's been having sort of little pops at the club ever since he's left, and now all of a sudden he's back at the reins, and
this is football, though, isn't it? To me,
it is. But
Paul Bassick, of course, has joined in. Paul was with us for about 10 minutes in the pre-season before he went off on his jaunt. But ex-Poppy, of course, and they replaced Rob Black and Neil Fryer, who did quite well, I thought. And we got a few games under the belts. They did better than Simon Clark, but not to be. But Culverhouse got off to the perfect start, and we've just seen now that we do have a change on the Kettering Town lineup. It looks like Bradley Kazeni is out, and Dion Kelly-Evans is in, and Paul White comes in on the bench.
I wonder to see why Bradley Kazeni's out. Often it's an injury or something, but we'll see if we can find out why he's not playing. But that's an interesting change just before the game. But yeah, I mean, Kings Lynn, they've got a job to do because they've started poorly, and for a team of Kings Lynn standing, it was not a good enough start for them, and their fans, I know, were very unhappy with the way that it was done. And they seem to be happy to see Culverhouse back, and why not? He's a good manager. But it will be interesting to see whether they've left it too late for...
They've only lost 4 games in the league, and I've always said to win one of these divisions, you can only afford to lose 6 to win it.
They're still going to play us again.
They're still going to play us again, of course, yeah. And I think you can lose 9 to get into the playoffs. So they're not out of it, and I think you've got to really sort of write them off at your own peril, because with Culverhouse back, It's going to be a different Kings Lynn side than the sides that featured earlier. I mean, they drew 1-1 with AFC Russian and Diamonds, whoever they are. They thrashed Leeson 5-1, and they beat Banbury United 3-1. So they've made impressive strides. Prior to that, though, it was disaster.
Yeah, I mean, but look at that as well. Drawing 2-2 with Hales Owen, losing to Stourbridge, losing to Lowestoft, drawing with St Neots, only just beating Tamworth, losing to us, of course, and losing to Biggleswade. That start may very well cost them. If they hadn't had that start, they'd be right up there challenging us, I think, so far anyway in this season. But, they're not going to be the only team that is challenging for playoff places. We're talking here like, it's a case of, they're going to have to work really hard and they're going to get there. There are going to be a lot of other teams that are there that are going to want to stop them getting in that playoff place. And I just don't know whether they will have the momentum, because they're now, like you say, you can lose about 9, so that gives them 5 games to lose in another.
Well, one to us, obviously.
Well, yeah, another 30? Not that quite. Another 30 odd
We've
games.
only played 9 games, haven't we? 11 games in the league.
So
only 4 of those have been at home.
Yeah. So do you know what I mean? They can lose 1 every 6 games and suddenly aren't in the playoffs. So they've got to hit a massive run of form now, and if they don't, they won't get playoffs.
Indeed, just in case you don't know, there will be a minute's silence prior to the starting of the game. That is obviously for Remembrance Day and for the Leicester City disaster that has been well reported, and rightly so. Also, there'll be a presentation before the game. I think Gary Graham's doing it September. Team of the Month. Kettering Town won it in August. They've won it in September. When they can do October, I'm not quite sure about that, but we will see Gary Graham out there with.
Might as well just give us team of the season already.
Well, I don't want to template, but there we go. Going back to Kings Lynn, they beat Peterborough Sports 4-1 in the first round of this competition. Ex-Poppy Jake Newman scored the Sports consolation goal, while the Poppies won 3-2 at Banbury United, coming back from twice behind. I covered that game. It was a freezing cold night, but it was a very different Poppies lineup to this one. It'll be interesting to see how this sort of goes, but there we have it. But I was going to say to you, I did think that Kettering would have quite a weaker team out in this. This is a strong team, but I was going to say to you, how much do you think that this is in Marcus Law's overall game plan? Obviously, it's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, silverware's silverware, so you can't turn your nose up at it. But I just... Disaster will strike if there's a couple of injuries in this game. If O'Connor goes back out, or you lose a Marcus Kelly, or you lose someone like that in this game, you may reevaluate it. I mean, Kettering have got decent enough depth to be able to cover positions if they need to.
They're going to lose Borg, aren't they, after tonight? Yeah. He goes on international
So you
duty.
might as well play him, which is, I get. I mean, yeah, it's a strong team, but, winning breeds winning. And no matter what the situation, it's a competitive fixture, and a win only adds to momentum.
Let's think about this competition. Kettering have underachieved in the League Cup in whatever format it's been since its inception, I would suppose, since 1979 anyway, when we had the League Cups in these sort of competitions. They won it in 1987 against Hendon, and then it was the GMACC Cup. Do you think there are too many club competitions in this football? We have the Senior Cup that takes preference, especially when we have the bad winters, and the season is not extended by the league to accommodate all the postponements, all the extra fixtures. It does come at critical times, doesn't it?
In a word, yeah, we've got too many cup competitions for this level of football. It's okay in the Football League to have, you've got your league season, your FA Cup, your whatever it's called now, what used to be the Johnston's Paint Trophy, they've changed it now. And then obviously you can put your reserve teams out for the local cups. But this level of football, there are too many cup competitions that take preference over league. I mean, having the local Hillier Cup and whatever it is in different areas taking preference over league matches is just it's idiotic. It really is, because it's a competition that
it's a money loser, isn't it?
No team wants to do well in it, but they don't rate. At the beginning of the season, you don't go, well, if we finish bottom half of the table and go out first round FA Cup, FA Trophy, and, you know, maybe get somewhere in the League Cup. But as long as we win the local cup, we'll be happy. No team does that. It loses your money because you've got to put on facilities, floodlights, pay players,
let's
pay all that kind of stuff. You don't get the people through the gates. You have to rearrange a perfectly good league game for it. Which changes everything, because suddenly you've got a league game that was being played in September is now being played in December, then that gets postponed because of the bad weather, and then that gets played in February, and then that gets postponed because we have stupid winters in this country and it goes on till March, and then you end up playing it in the last week of the season where you've got now 3 games because the original game that was supposed to be played was taken out because of a local competition.
It is. I agree entirely with what you're saying, Ed. But it's all about money. Some clubs now produce e-programs, which I have to say the ones I've seen are absolutely awful, in an attempt to reduce costs because of actually producing a matchday magazine.
You are losing the essence of football because of the amount of money that's being lost. I mean, look at this. The FA are bringing in, I think clubs at step 4 or 5 or something have got until the beginning of next season, I think it is, or April, I think it is, to get their changing rooms bigger, or else they face fines or point deductions or relegations. And you go, with that money that they're going to spend, because they say they can apply to up to 70% of the funding, that's fine, but 30% is still a lot. Lot, especially when you think these can take hundreds of thousands of pounds if you want them done properly, and 30% of that is still 30 grand that a club's got to find by themselves. And it's just, you think, are we losing the focus on football when you've got all of these additional things that clubs have got to face? Are we losing the fact that actually it's more about Saturday afternoons and Tuesday evenings?
You may raise a good point there about attendances. I did a few bit of research before I came on, and that's rare, but a bit of research before I came on. And the last time that Kettering were involved in a 4-figure attendance in any League Cup competition, that's on any sponsored guise, albeit the Bob Lord Trophy, the Coca-Cola, whatever you want to call it, came in 1994-95 against Dagenham and Redbridge. The highest last 3-figure gate was 450. Involving Kettering. That came in 2008 against Bishop Stortford at Rockingham Road. The average home and away attendances combined for the last 9 fixtures since 2013 is 210, and the total gate home and away in that same time period is 1,897, and 615 of those came in one game against Rudgeon and Diamonds last season. How can this be a money spinner?
It's not. It really isn't. I mean, I kind of get the League Cup in a sense because it's sponsored and it brings money into the league. So I kind of get that. I don't understand the local competitions. And I understand why we need to have them. And I understand it's a nice thing. But is it something that needs to take preference over league games? And we say it every season. Is it not something that can be done pre-season? Is it not something that you can have competitive fixtures in pre-season for local time? Because you don't want to be going to the other end of the country for pre-season fixtures because it costs you money to get travel there. So you've got all local games, pre-season, get a bit of competitiveness. Look at what the Nations League thing, the international football, they've got rid of friendlies and they've decided to put a competitive edge onto them. And although that provides its own problems because of the level it's at, could that not be done at this level? Provide a competitive edge to friendlies to allow managers to work things out and, but as well stay competitive. And it may change, have to change the structure a little bit and do a round robin. So obviously you get knocked out first round, you don't have time to then come up with more friendlies. But if you do a round robin scenario, every team's going to get at least, say, 4 or 5 games already scheduled in for pre-season. And then the top 2 teams play in the final of it.
That's been one of my gripes, like you say, for quite a while. I totally agree with the pre-season tournament.
At this level of football, you lose too much money.
Also, the weather's better, isn't it? Yeah. People that have had that break from football, they can go on holiday, come back, and then get involved in it.
Exactly, and it's a competitive fixture for them to get involved.
Rather than just
you have a chance of seeing some good first-team players in it. But you just lose money. You just lose money at this level of football. There isn't the money in it to continue to justify the amount that is lost when you pay players and floodlights and put on the bar and put on food for 87 people to come through the gate.
It'll be interesting to see what the attendance is tonight. We will bring you that when we find out. I'm thinking 3 figures, obviously, and lower 3 figures, I would think. But there we go. When you consider when you got 504 in the FA Cup, it does make you wonder what tonight's attendance will be. But talking of cup competitions, Ed and myself will be on the audio trail on Saturday at Stamford AFC in the FA Trophy second qualifying round. We were there in pre-season. We lost that one 1-0, but that should be quite a good game.
It should be, actually, because it's a competitive fixture. It's one of those ones where it's you don't really care at this level of football when you're going for the title of the FA Trophy until you get to sort of quarter-finals. We always say that. When Wembley starts sort of looming in, then you start getting interested in it. But, it's going to be a good game, that. Stamford are a good team. It's a nice short away day for everyone. It's FA Trophy football, and, actually, we could be in for a really good game there. I think that both teams will be going for that.
Indeed, so we will be there to cover that for you if you can't make the short journey to Stamford, only about 30 minutes away, I think it is, something like that. But there we go. If there is a replay, it'll be a week tonight here at Latimer Park. We don't want that, no. But if that is the way it is. Technically, on the 17th of November, we should play Royston, but that might change. And Tuesday, now this is an interesting one, Tuesday against Stourbridge at home. Again, that could be interfered with an FA Trophy again, but it would mean that would be our first league match at Latimer Park since September the 15th. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, 2 months without a home game. Again, I'm sorry, but you've got to look at the fixtures there and go, the club will be losing money without home fixtures. Again. And, you've got to put on coaches, you've got to, you don't get any income from the gate. Oh, okay, the FA Cup wins, you get half the income. But, that is, when that happens, clubs really struggle.
Then we have the glut of fixtures in late November, early December. We have, I think it's 4 consecutive home games. And again, we will lose out because people will pick and choose what they can go to, what they can afford.
Yeah, exactly. And
the team will lose out. They're all midweek, which isn't probably the ideal factor. Although, in saying that, some of our midweek attendances outscore the Saturday game. So we'll see on that one. Well, we'll be going upstairs to our commentatory team soon of myself and hopefully the Telegraph's John Dunham.
I think I've just seen, yes, he's in the green room.
We will,
ears pricked up at that one.
Sorry?
His ears pricked up at that one.
We will be summarising the events of this game. He's obviously seen the teams, and we'll see how strong Kettering Town team is. We'll go through those teams just before we kick off. As I said, there will be a minute's silence for Remembrance Day and the Leicester victims of that terrible helicopter crash, which has shocked the world, I would say, really.
It has. It's you heard that it had crashed, and in the initial reports, and you thought it was going to be one of those reports where it had just sort of failed to get off the ground kind of thing, and it had crash landed, and then sort of you go, okay, so it actually got up into the air and it had come down, and you think, okay, maybe it was a soft landing, and then you see the photos and you go, that's just not.
No. It puts some footballers. It's cliche, but people have said, haven't they? But it just put football into perspective, and
it does. And it's when you look at the people who are involved in it. Obviously, you've got the chairman for Leicester City, who everyone knows, but also, you've got the pilot and his girlfriend, fiance, wife. I can't remember the relationship. Partner. Yeah. And then 2 other members of staff who have each got their own individual families. Who that's 5 people's families that are now grieving over one freak of nature, I guess it is, isn't it? We'll wait to hear what the reports say, but by the sounds of things, initial reports is just that there's nothing anyone could have done about it. It was going to happen, and it couldn't be stopped. But I think the football world has shown its class over the past couple of weeks with how it's dealt with it. Nearly every club in the world, any club that has anyone who have done something for it, held minute silences, put tributes on social media, and I think actually credit to Leicester as a club, but also in the Premier League, Cardiff City, who
That's remarkable, wasn't it, Cardiff?
How they treated.
Very impressed indeed.
Considering it's still a competitive fixture and Cardiff are struggling at the moment, to go to the effort that they did to make Leicester fans and players feel comfortable and welcome. And actually, I think that the whole thing has been dealt with a huge sense of dignity. And I think actually, when football fans get a bad rap and get stereotyped and things like that, I think this should be looked at as a case of what football can do and how powerful football actually is and how amazing football fans can be at times. And you know, it's a bad situation and the football world has rallied and made it just that little bit brighter.
Okay, well, it's about 5 minutes to go here. Ed, you're on camera today. I'm on keyboards.
Yep.
And we've got John Dunham on bass. So if you want to nip off and turn it on, so that we can record our highlights, I'll be joining him in a few moments. So there'll be a bit of a silence this time, and we won't be linking through to upstairs because there's nobody upstairs at the moment. So I'm going to rush out of here, clamber up the ladder, and get on the old microphone, and along with, as I say, John Dunham, who'll be with me throughout the evening, and it'll be Kettering Town against Kings Lynn Town. It'll be interesting to see the new signing Dan Holman and see how he matters in with the rest of the Kettering Town team, which is a strong Kettering Town team, and we'll bring you that. You probably see it on the screen anyway, but we'll bring you that team, and all the action will be with you in a few moments. So I'm going to close myself down now, if I can do that. And I'm going to waltz up upstairs, so bear with me while I clamber up the stairs, and you'll get a nice Poppy's TV still image to gaze at. So see you in a few moments. Okay, Ryan, I'm up here. Can I go live? Ryan, you there? Well, welcome to Latimer Park. Cold evening, but not as cold as the last time. Very, very sparse crowd indeed for this City Security Services Limited Challenge Cup second round tie. Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Kings Lynn Town, the Linnets. And you can hear this live here on Poppies TV audio. With me tonight is a regular, I suppose, on Poppies TV audio these days. And it is the Telegraph's John Dunham. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Cookie, and good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's a bit sparse, isn't it? There's not many people come out for it.
Indeed. So there we go. Just
They
go
must
to.
all be listening to us then.
Oh well, let's hope so. Not that tripe that's on TV, but there we go. Let's give the teams out. In goal for Kettering. Number 1 is Lewis Elsom. Number 2 is Durrell Berry even. 3 Ben Tosland. 4 Brett Solkin. 7 Lyndon Meikle. 8 Aaron O'Connor. 9 new signing Dan Holman from Aldershot Town. 14 Marcus Kelly. 15 Declan Towers. 17 Andre Borg, and late replacement number 12 is Dion Kelly Evans, and the subs for Kettering tonight are number 10 Ben Milnes, number blah blah is Paul White. Not sure what his number is, but he wasn't on the original number 1 I'd have thought, but he's in goal. But 16 is Joe Massaro, 18 Nathaniel Roturner, and 20 Cal Templeton. Probably our first look at him. Kings Lynn line up like this. Number 1 is Alexander Street, 2 Kieran Shipp, 3 Jack Noble, 4 Craig Parker, 5 Owen Gilbert, 6 Rory Macaulay, 7 Dylan Edge, 8 Kieran Stannard, 9 Harry Lim, 10 Nathan Dorr, and 11 Jack Frohawk. Their subs are Freddie Crowison, 12, 14 Charlie Rudland, 15 Joseph Gascoigne, 16 Ryan Hawkins, and 17 Chris Henderson. The referee tonight is Ben Cook. Assistant referees are Ian Crenson and Richard Cutts, and there will be a minute's silence before the game starts, John, in remembrance of the Remembrance Day, of course, and of the disaster at Leicester City.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, Kettering are away on Saturday, which is when if they were at home, they would have done their remembrance things then. But yeah, obviously, I think everyone wants to recognise the tragedy at Leicester as well. Obviously, sickening thing that happened there, and yeah, obviously, our thoughts are with everyone concerned with that one.
It's going to be our first look at Dan Holman. He was on the bench for Aldershot against Kettering in the FA Cup. Prolific goalscorer in his travels, and it's a strong Kettering Town side, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised about how strong it is. You know, I thought Marcus would put a few of them in, but he's put a lot of them in. So you know, it's about as strong as it can get, to be honest.
So we're about to have the minute silence. Brett Solkin, captain for tonight, in the centre circle. It will start and finish on the referee's whistle, and players going towards the edges of the centre circle. Referee looking at both teams, a bit of movement around. Impeccable, as usual, from the fans here at Latimer Park. Very well observed indeed. And Dan Holman?
Yeah.
Yes, what do you reckon?
Well, it's an unbelievable signing for this level, isn't it? It's you know, he's a like you said before the game started. He's a prolific striker at pretty much every level he's played at, whether it's Football League, whether it's UCL or whatever. He's worked his way up, and he's still only
with O'Connor as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he's only 28 years old. I mean, it's an incredible signing. It's a statement of intent, and if he hits the ground running, then I think he's going to be it's going to be huge for a team that's already going very well.
Indeed. So we're about to start this CSS Challenge Cup second round. Kettering kicking from left to right towards them. Brian Martin's stand. Another fiver, please, Brian. It's Holman over the board in the centre circle. Kettering with kick-off. Kings Lynn playing in blue and yellow. I think they were in white last time they came here for the league game. But and we're off. Holman. He finds Kelly. It is Meikle, in fact, pushing the ball through. Headed out by Kings Lynn. Towers comes in, but it is the number 6, Macaulay. Kelly wins the ball in the centre circle. A lot around him. It's flicked back to Solkin. Push it through to Borg, who wins that quite highly. Cleared by Kings Lynn. Only to Lyndon Meikle. Feeding the ball through, but Jack Noble lets that ball go out to play for a goal kick. And Alexander Street gets his first touch of the ball as the Kings Lynn subs walk behind the BM Pallets stand, getting a little bit of encouragement from the Kettering fans that are over there, John.
Yeah, that's it. Always guaranteed a warm welcome at Lambeth Park, aren't you?
Yes.
But no, it's an interesting one, this, because I think Kings Lynn have made a lot more changes than Kettering have. I don't recognise as many names on the Kings Lynn team sheet as I normally would. So, but there'll be a few players out there who are keen to impress, seeing Culverhurst is back, and he'll be looking for people to work their way into his plans, I would think. So plenty to play for from their point of view.
Exactly, got off to the perfect start, didn't they? Alfchurch winning 3-0 as Meikle tried to set Holman off. He's letting the ball run. He's being challenged by Macaulay. Gives the ball back to Dean Kelly Evans. Evans to Meikle. Meikle being harassed. He's got two round him. He's on the byline. Still with Meikle, feeds the ball through to Borg. Borg on the edge of the penalty area. He's going to come inside. Feeds the ball through to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans puts a low ball through, and that is kicked away there by Owen Gilbert for a corner. Almost slid it through his own goal there, didn't he? Just another inch or two, it might have put straight under pressure.
Lovely move, wasn't it? Because Lyndon Meikle was under pressure from a couple of defenders, and he's fed the pass through to Borg, who's played in Kelly Evans, and he's done everything right, put it across, and they've had to clear their lines.
So in comes the corner high, and it comes to Toseland who lets one go, but it ricochets off the number 4 there, Parker, and goes, I think, for another corner. It does. It's going to be Kelly with this second corner. So early pressure from Kettering Town. It's what we want to see. So Kelly is placing the ball down in the corner there. The Kings Lynn players marking man for man as we speak. In comes the corner high there. There's another corner. It's headed again by number 5, Gilbert. He puts it out. This is the 3rd corner in a row.
Putting it into a good area, isn't he, Marcus Kelly? It's got to be defended. Otherwise, someone's going to get something on it. He does put the ball into a good area.
He does, and ball came for the short, but Kelly plays the longer ball in. This time it's easily cleared by Kings Lynn. Goes for a throw-in midway in the Kings Lynn half on our right-hand side here. It's going to be Kelly Evans to take the throw-in. Got a lot of movement for Kettering. Here's O'Connor's first touch to Borg. Borg comes inside, might try a shot. Does, blocked, and Kings Lynn get the ball away, but Meikle interferes. But Kings Lynn do well. They break away the ball with Meikle still getting through, and still Kings Lynn with the ball. No ball. Intercepted though by Kelly, who's brought down, nothing given. Comes away does Parker over the halfway line, feeds the ball through to Ship on the far side. Bit of a heavy touch from Ship, but he still has the ball. Gives it back to the number 4, Parker. Bit of space here. The blocker might try a shot outside the penalty area, but cleared by Meikle, who runs away with the ball. Feeds through Holman, who does a light little dummy there, and look at the pace of the man. He's got Noble chasing after him. Still Holman with the ball. Still with the ball, Holman. Turns one way. In the centre here, might try a shot. Feeds through Borg. A great ball from Holman. Comes outside, is being pressurised here. Comes Borg. Should be a chance here. And he tried a shot at the low post. And it was cleared. And he commits a foul there on Ryan Stanyard in the penalty area for a free kick. But again, good movement from Borg and in particular Holman.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you're going to get with Dan Holman. First of all, he's rolled the defender right in front of us, chased after it. Didn't even look like he was breaking sweat, and he got away. And then he's done well to retrieve the ball after almost losing it. And then he's played a most wonderful reverse pass into Borg, and he's obviously got him behind and gone for the near post, but a good save.
So Street with the free kick. Only finds Towers. Towers finds Meikle. Meikle threads the ball through, but it's too heavy. Street comes out, but he allows that to roll out for a goal kick. So, John, let's estimate the gate then. A wooden one.
If you give me 5 minutes, I might be able to count.
What was nice for the minutes silent was no fireworks going off. We had quite a battery of fireworks going off behind us prior to the game, so that was nice to.
It looks around about. There's 1 or 2 who travel from Kings Lynn. I'm gonna go for it's around about 300, I reckon.
Okay, I'll go for Ed Palmer there on camera.
301.
So Street then with this goal kick. Solkins underneath it. He wins that, trying to find O'Connor, but Gilbert wins it. Flicked on by Edge. He finds Dorr on the far side. We have to play the ball back though to Gilbert. Pumps it forward.
And well won by Darrell Berry. He finds Kelly Evans. There's a bit of head tennis in the centre here. It finally finds Parker just outside the centre circle, running through. Parker looks like quite a useful character. Feeds the ball through, just outside the penalty area now. Good flick through to the number 11 Frohawk, but good interception there by Berry. He finds Meikle. Meikle feeds O'Connor, who lets a good ball to Toseland. Toseland opens his legs. He's running down that left-hand side, feeds the ball through to Borg. Borg comes inside, might try a shot, feints, comes across, puts a high ball over, too high, and it goes out for a goal kick. Good movement, though, from young Ben Toseland and also Borg as well. Of course, Borg's last game before his international trip to Albania.
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? He's got the one thing that you can't put a price on, and that's bags of pace, isn't he? He just weaves away from the defenders like they're not even there. But that was a lovely flick from Aaron O'Connor to get Ben Toseland away, and it was just just the wrong decision from Andre Borg at the end after doing the hard work.
Just watching Ed Palmer do a very good Reggie Perrin impression there.
He's going through his stretches.
Going through his stretches, yeah.
Not that desperate, are they? I've seen him play.
Alexander Street then with the goal kick. Low trajectory. Flicked on by Lim, but intercepted by Towers. Towers finds Dion Kelly Evans, but that's blocked. Ball goes out of play onto pitch 2. Goes over the fence. That was Frohawk intercepted there. New ball, please. Kelly Evans then halfway in Kettering's half on the left-hand side. Throws the ball back to Towers. Towers rests it on his knee. Switches play over to Ben Toseland. Do well to keep this in. He can't. And it is a throw-in on the far side. Dylan Edge with this just over the halfway line. 0-0 here at Latimer Park in this CSS Challenge Cup second round fixture. We have how many minutes gone, John? I'll leave you on clock tonight.
Oh, I haven't started the stop.
Absolutely professional. So it is Kings Lynn running away the ball. Good movement here. Ben Toseland needs to do something with this. He does. He puts it out of play.
Minutes, I think, Cookie. About 10
it
minutes.
Is.
Let's call it about 10 minutes.
So the Kings Lynn fans who made the longest journey on a Tuesday night, well done to them. They're voicing in the tin hat end. Thrown on the far side by the small stand. If you've been to Latimer Park, you know where it is. So throw-in to be taken. It is. It finds Dorr, but he's beaten to it by Towers, and it's hoofed out. And there's a foul there on Darrell Berry. He goes down. Referee brings play back. I think Berry's okay though, but he went down. He felt that. Lewis Elsom in place of Paul White tonight. Young Loney, well, not a Loney anymore now, is he, Elsom, but from Peterborough United, injured against Wisbech.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky in pre-season, wasn't he? I think he made a couple of really good saves. Look, is he getting booked here? Yeah, he is.
There is a booking for Kings Lynn. It is I'm not sure what number it is at the moment. When he turns around in this gloomy light, it is the number 10, Nathan Dorr, for the foul on Darrell Berry. So Elsom then with the kick high into the Kings Lynn half. Solcombe was underneath it, but it was cleared by Macaulay. Throw into Kettering. Toseland with it. Toseland puts it back to Berry. Berry takes one touch, squares it to Kelly. Kelly back to Towers in the Kettering half. He finds Kelly Evans still in Kettering's half. And Kelly falls down, and it's a good chance here as Frohawk one-on-one here with Elsom. Is at a wide angle, puts it through. It's a goal. 1-0. Well, that's against the form book there. A slip by Dion Kelly Evans. Frohawk intercepts, runs at an angle, puts it wide of Lewis Elsom. 1-0.
Yeah, it's horrible for Dion Kelly Evans. Not much he can do. He just stumbled over with the ball at his feet, and fair play to the lad Frohawk. He's raced away and produced a good low finish that Elsom, just couldn't stop. It was right in the corner. So good finish right across the keeper. Very unfortunate for Dion Kelly Evans, but that's what can happen sometimes, isn't it? In this strange game of ours, you're always one mistake away from conceding, aren't you? And that's all it was. He stumbled over, and you've got to give credit to the lad because he still had plenty of work to do, and he finished it well.
Yep, that is the first shot from either team, really. Kettering had all the game up until that point, putting Kingston under pressure, but one mistake, as John Dunham said, well executed by Jack Froghook, and 1-0 to the visitors, whose fans are in a gleeful mood, let's put it, in that tin hat end, as ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick to Kings Lynn. Well, it's quite a shock when you look at the strength of Kettering's team, but long way to go in this as we speak. Ball back in play with Borg. He finds Meikle. Meikle threads the ball through to Borg. Good work here. Borg goes down, though. It's a foul judged by Macaulay. He's not happy with that.
No, yeah, it's soft. A little bit soft, isn't it? But I think there was a bit of an arm in the back, and Borg certainly made the most of it. But good position. Good position.
Yes, is a good position. Not sure what Palmer's doing with his fist there, but tugging shot. And but his camera trained on it.
I trust you, Ed. Obviously, I trust you.
It's a free kick to the Poppers. Going to be Lyndon Meikle to take this. In fact, he's left it for Marcus Kelly. So Marcus Kelly is just outside the penalty area, but quite wide. It's a good in-swinging position if he can get a decent ball in. Kelly flicked in. Borg. Should be a goal here, and is 1-1. And who scored that? It looks like Declan Towers gets the reply for Kettering. We thought it was a good place for a free kick. Declan Towers puts the ball in. 1-1.
It's all about the delivery from Kelly. It looked like he'd gone a little bit flat, but it got past the first defender, which is the first thing you need to do, and then it's landed. And once it lands, it's all about the second ball, and the ball was just spare. Declan Towers, I think Kings Lynn will be really unhappy. Ian Culverhouse will be really unhappy because he had plenty of time to turn and fire at home. It looked like he might have to backheel it in to start with, but it was a good turn, good finish, and 1-1.
Yes, Kettering weren't behind long. They've pumped the ball forward. There's O'Connor underneath it. Holman's there as well. But here's O'Connor. He's got 3 or 4 around him. Here's O'Connor. Might be able to get the ball in, but it's eventually caught desperately by Alexander Street on the 6-yard box. He gets up, runs away with it. I thought Kettering were going to get 2 in a minute there. It looked very much like O'Connor was going to capitalise on a few good bounces. But Street gets the ball back into the Kettering half. Berry's underneath it, but he's beaten to it by the number 9. Berry wins the ball back. He can only find the Kings Lynn number 4. My sheet has gone at the moment, so I can't read the names. It's a bit windy up here, and good help there from John Dunham. But catching away now with Lyndon Meikle. He's got O'Connor to the side here. O'Connor puts one in. Good save. In it goes. Aaron O'Connor. Well, the Kings Lynn fans were saying top of the league. You're having a laugh. They've just showed why they are top of the league. Get 2 goals back within a minute. O'Connor 2 in 2 games, and Kettering Town take the lead.
Aaron O'Connor's back, isn't he? You know, it's just an Aaron O'Connor goal, and it's good play from Lyndon Meikle, breaking through midfield. Good pass right into his path, right where he wants it. To be fair, the goalkeeper, I've got a little bit of sympathy for him because I think he's done just about everything he possibly can. He's got a good hand to it, but it just the shot was too good. And it goes in the back of the net as it normally does when Aaron O'Connor's one-on-one with a goalkeeper. So there you go. He's back and he looks very, very sharp.
And that's only good news for the future for the Poppers, with a host of league games to complete at home. We only had 4 league games here at Latimer Park this season as Eltham comes out to get the loose ball. He's on the edge of his penalty area. Last game here was September the 15th in the league, which is remarkable when you consider where Kettering are. Berry hooking one towards O'Connor, but it's won by Noble. He finds the number 7 Edge. Edge trying to flick through to Dorr, who's been booked, but Berry's going to let this one run out. He can't though, because Dorr has to make him play it, which he does. He finds Kelly, intercepted by Parker. Parker plays the ball back and square to Frohawk. Frohawk goes down under a challenge by Kelly Evans. It's a free kick to Kings Lynn, midway in the Kettering half. Probably a bit too far out for a strike at goal, but you never know.
No, you would have thought that he'll probably throw this in there, put the big boys up from a couple of the big boys up from the back. So I think this will be. I don't know.
He's shaping up for it, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's two in the wall.
He's going to float. He's going to float it. He's going to float it in there. I think, by the looks of things.
So in it comes. It's headed out by Kelly Evans. They're going to try and allow that to go for a corner. It hasn't gone for a corner. Kelly Evans has done well, making the Kings Lynn player play the ball, and it is put out by Kelly Evans as Jack Noble comes over halfway in the Kettering half on this near side, and pretty poor throw in really, but also poor work from Kelly Evans. Gives the ball straight back to Harry Lim. Ball in by Noble, but easily cleared out by Darrell Berry, who's got some pace, having to track back. Plays the ball back to the goal scorer Towers. He squares it on the far side to Toseland. Toseland takes one touch, looks up, trying to find Holman, but it's too heavy, and the ball goes out of play for a goal kick. 2-1 here at Latimer Park in this CSS Challenge second round tie.
I think Kettering a good value for the lead. You know, they started the game really well, and only a mistake really let Kings Lynn in, despite the fact that it was still a good finish from Frohawk. It was it's the only real threat that Kings Lynn have had. Kettering have been pretty much a constant threat all the way through. So I think they're worthy of the lead so far.
Yep, 21 minutes. I make it here gone at Latimer Park. As I say, it's 2-1, but away come Kings Lynn. But good work from Toseland, barging Door out the way, but Kings Lynn get the ball back. Good work there from the number 8 Stanyard. He fires a long one, and that's not too far over. I think Elson was beaten there. It just went over the crossbar. A couple of inches lower down, it might have just crept in.
It's an excellent strike. It really is an excellent strike. It's one of them where he's probably caught it. He's probably caught it a little bit too well, but it was right on the money and just wide. Like you say, Lewis Elson didn't look like he was going to be getting anywhere near it if it was on target.
Slight a figure is Elson, but he was going to be well beaten there. There's a delay here while the linesman's telling him to get the Kings Lynn's bench. Oh, bit of argy-bargy down here from Culverhouse and the linesman. Encouragement from the Kettering bench, but back underway here as Elson puts a long ball. It's flicked on and away comes Toseland. If he can control this, he takes one heavy touch. Still has the ball though, leaves it for O'Connor. O'Connor turns, goes outside, comes in here behind Holman to Borg. Borg just outside the 6-yard box, flicks it through to Solken. Solken can't do much with it. It's cleared by Stanyard, and away comes Parker. He set Edge, who's on the far side in the Kettering half, doing well. He's got Kelly beside him. Comes inside, Kelly has to play the ball back though, and intercepted by Ben Toseland. So all that good work from Kings Lynn down the drain as Toseland comes away. There's Holman. He does a little dummy but loses the ball, and Stanyard plays the ball back to Alexander Street in yellow and black. He's in yellow shirt, black shorts, black socks, yellow boots. Towers misheads that, and Lim puts Towers under pressure. Towers has to clear it, and it almost comes up onto the gantry. Ed Palmer still dying to get his hands on the ball in a commentary or filming position. I've had my hands on the ball at least twice this season, but at the moment, Mr. Palmer, not a lot of people know that.
Dear.
Throw in then to Kings Lynn, just in front of their dugouts by Jack Noble, who takes a few yards extra. Nothing happening yet. Noble, ball in play, intercepted by Meikle. Finds Berry. Berry squares it to Kelly. Kelly's got Toseland overlapping. He uses Toseland. Toseland advances over the halfway line. In front of him is Parker, but he doesn't use him. Puts a long ball through to O'Connor, not given much chance, and the ball goes out. So a bit of a waste there, really, John Dunham.
Yeah, it was, because it was good play from Marcus Kelly to get Ben Toseland away. He's got acres of space over there. He's been getting away from there over on that side with a lot of space to play with. And yeah, it was just a little bit. He was asking a bit too much of Aaron O'Connor. You can see what he was trying to do, but a bit too much on it and not the best pass. But that's it's only his first error tonight, Toseland. He's looked very lively on the over on the far side.
Yep, he's got a throw in again just in front of the burger bar over there, so no doubt it's got sauce on it, but he's still got the ball, throws in towards O'Connor. O'Connor beaten to it, and it only reaches Kelly, who heads it back to Toseland, who's not moved too far from the original throw in. He squares it back to Kelly. Kelly under pressure here and loses the ball, but wins it back, and Dion Kelly-Havens has to mop up, puts the ball back to Towers. So Kettering living a bit dangerously there. Towers with the ball midway in Kettering's half. He takes his time. Feeds the ball through to Meikle, who comes back, plays it to Kelly-Evans. Kelly-Evans back to Towers. Towers being forced back slightly, takes his time, puts a long ball towards Holman, but unfortunately that goes straight to Alexander Street. Hit too heavy, and looks like Reese Honus, who's not in the squad tonight, is just walking round, giving Reese Honus deserved rest.
Yeah, I think if you look at the team sheet, he and obviously Nathaniel Rowe Turner, who's on the bench. Those two are ones who would normally start, but Reese has put in a massive effort, in an unfamiliar position really compared to what he's normally used to as a winger. He's done a great job for the team, and he's well worthy of that rest. I can understand why they've chosen to rest him. He'll be back and firing on Saturday, no doubt.
Yep, Elmson then with the goal kick. It goes over the stand for a throw into Kings Lynn on the far side. Referee asking for another ball, and James Algar, a rather good kick actually. It's not bad. Normally certainly the ball onto the pitch has been a lot better this season. As Ed Palmer said, we've had some diabolical ones in the past seasons. Kinningburgh was awful when he used to bung the ball on, wasn't he? And Mitch Austin was terrible as well with the ball placement, but Algar seems to have got it right. But it's Kings Lynn forcing Darrell Berry back to Elsom, who can't pick this up. He takes the touch, a heavy touch, and he does well to clean the ball through to Kelly-Evans, who's got a bit of space here to work with the ball, but not a good ball. It's cut out, didn't reach Borg. It's cut out by Noble. Noble founds for Frog Hawk, but he's back with Kettering from Salkin. He finds Borg. Borg comes inside to Meikle. Meikle feeds through Kelly-Evans, who's marched on. Ball comes over. I think that's hit a little too heavy, and that just gone over.
Yeah, it's got the makings of another good move, isn't it? It's good football. It's quick passing, nice interchange play, good ball out from Lyndon Meikle, who's really pulling the strings again today. And Dion Kelly-Evans had to go with it, had to try and cross it with his second touch, and his first touch wasn't the best, and it just sat up a little bit, so it's sliced out of play. But some good nice passing moves going on from Kettering at the minute. It's good to watch.
So 2-1 to Kettering Town, coming back from a goal behind here at Latimer Park in the CSS Challenge Cup second round as Street powers the ball out for a Kettering Town throw-in. Kettering back on the road on Saturday in the FA Trophy at Stamford AFC. You can hear that on Poppy's TV audio with Ed Palmer and myself. It's all cup competitions at the moment for the Poppies as Borg does well under pressure from Stanyard, but he gets the ball back to Parker. And Kings Lynn now have a chance. Away comes the number 7. Might try a shot in his own here. Comes inside, goes one way, goes through to the number 10 and gets a shot. Good block from Kettering. Towers and Salkin get rid of the ball, and Kelly just hooks it away. But a good effort there from Kings Lynn. That could have been a little dangerous for Kettering had that been on target.
Yeah, it was a good run from the number 7. He really. It might have been a little bit too easy from Kettering's point of view. He waltzed past a couple of defenders like they weren't even there, and then his shot was blocked. So it was good. It was good defending in the end from Kettering. 2 really good blocks to get the danger away, but a little bit worrying how easy he managed to wander through the defence.
You're not missing anything here. It's a goal kick to Kettering. Elsom has just come out to get the ball, and he's trotting back to his 6-yard box. You're listening to Poppy's TV audio. The highlights of this game will be on our website later in the week, as will any post-match interviews that we managed to cobble together for you later on this evening. So Elsom then with this goal kick delivers it low trajectory, and it goes straight out by the halfway line to a Kings Lynn throw, much to the joy of the Kings Lynn fans behind young Elsom there.
They're making lots of noise, aren't they? Love that. If you're going to come here on a Tuesday night in the Southern League Challenge Cup, you might as well come and enjoy yourselves, won't you?
Exactly, and well done to them. But Kings Lynn not giving this game up by any means. They're only a goal behind. It is Frohawk with the ball, but cleared by Kelly Evans. That's high towards Holman. Holman underneath it with 2 Kings Lynn defenders, but it's cleared out by Macaulay. Macaulay under pressure with Meikle, but Meikle somehow finds Solken, who plays the ball back to Berry. He squares it to Toseland on the far side. Toseland plays it straight back to Berry. Berry got to be careful here, putting Kelly under pressure. He finds Towers with a bit of space on this right-hand side. He passes the ball to Kelly Evans, back to Towers. Nice triangles here from Kettering. Feeding the ball through to O'Connor, who is offside. Not often we've said that this season, O'Connor offside, but it was one we used last season quite a bit, but it was a good move again.
Yeah, it was a good move again. Yeah, it was a decent ball over from Declan Towers. Too much on it for the defender to deal with it, but yeah, I think Aaron O'Connor just strayed slightly offside. I think the goalkeeper probably would have picked up anyway, but again, it's nice, good passing football going on before that. Killer pass is coming out.
Okay. Solken then plays the ball back to Towers. Towers having to put Elsom under pressure. It's a low kick from Elsom. It goes straight through to Ship. He finds Parker. Parker lays the ball to Macaulay. Takes his time, squares it over, but intercepted by O'Connor. Now O'Connor, he's got Holman with him, but he can't control the ball, unfortunately for Kettering fans. And Stanyard double takes Borg. Stanyard again with the ball. Very loose. That should be a Kettering Town throw-in.
Yeah, Kings Lynn are really struggling to get any sort of an attack going at the minute, but they're yeah, I think they're a much changed lineup, and they're really struggling to get anything going. They look a little bit dangerous when they get a bit closer to Kettering's goal, but in general they're struggling to do it.
Well, we are streaming live, so we can stop the radio commentary as such and go into TV commentary, which is a relief. So if you are watching
we'll have
this,
to start telling the truth then, won't we?
Start telling the truth now. Yeah. And the cameraman will have to do his work.
Switch it on.
If you are watching this, welcome to some live coverage. Tuesday night, we can do that. The FA haven't told us not to, and away comes O'Connor. He could do a little flick here. He's got Holman in there and cut out. Very well done by Kings Lynn.
Was a good bit of defending at the far post, because it was a good ball in from Aaron O'Connor. Good early ball, and Holman was waiting to pounce, wasn't he? But hey.
Well, there's a foul on young Borg, who goes to Albania in a few days to represent Malta under 19, I think it is, or under 21. Congratulations to him on
Fantastic, that. Isn't it? If you can get that experience, that's what you want, isn't it? Fantastic for him, and it'll be excellent. It'll be an excellent experience for him, and best of luck for him. And he's been a good player for Kettering.
Well, here he is again by the byline, gets the ball over, and there's O'Connor, little flick, shot in there, and in, a goal! It's none other than
Solken.
Brett Solken. Well, if you've just tuned in and you're seeing this live, you can see Brett Solken score his 11th goal of the season, and another popular win, 3-1 to the Poppies.
And we were just talking about Borg, weren't we, about how good he's been and everything, and he won the free kick down here. He gets the ball down there, he gets in behind, he puts the ball across, it comes out to Holman. He's obviously looking for his first goal, it gets deflected across, and you know who's waiting there to head into the an unguarded net, really. So yeah, 3-1 and a well-deserved lead.
Yep, the Kettering Angel does it again. He's not switching the lights on this year, but you never know. He might be switching them on in a couple of years' time when he gets to 600 appearances, if that ever happens. I did say to him he could do it if he's about 40. But there we go. It's 3-1 then to Kettering Town. Solken. O'Connor. Unlucky there, we're going to put the number 6 Macaulay under pressure, and he just stops it going for a corner, and it must have come off O'Connor It's a throw in to Kings Lynn, just down by the corner flag. Referee brings play back. As I say, on Saturday we're at Stamford. That will be radio commentary with Ed Palmer and myself. The FA Trophy Build Base FA Trophy sponsorship this year. Nice little ground. What I remember from pre-season, temperature will be slightly different, John. It was scorching hot when we were there in I think it was July.
Yeah, it's a nice little setup over there. I'm sure we'll get the chance to talk about it a little bit more later on this evening. But it will be an interesting tie, that.
Clearance there from Toseland, who says it's our ball, but referee having none of it. Noble again, he puts the ball out. Salkin clapping the linesman.
Really relentless pressing from Kettering. As soon as Kings Lynn have got the ball, there's a Kettering player within a yard of them straight away, and they're struggling to cope with it. You know, I think we have to reiterate that this is a much changed Kings Lynn side. It's not their normal first team side, but Kettering are making it very, very difficult for them.
Yep, it's better than training playing these games, as long as you don't get any injuries, and Kettering doing very well, as John Dunham says, feeding the ball through to Toseland. That's put out by Kieran Shipp just by the corner flag. Berry. Finding O'Connor, who is offside.
It's either offside or goal, isn't it?
Yep, I'll take that. Offside or goal, that's fine for me. Any Kettering Town fans, of course, they'll... Yeah, so rare live footage from Latimer Park this evening, Tuesday night, and we've got a lot of Tuesday night games coming up in the league in future, so we'll try and bring you those games live imagery rather than audio, which
really
is
massive part of the season coming up, isn't it? It's really, this is, you know, there's a lot of games coming up in all competitions, but the league run that Kettering have got after the FA Trophy is just huge, with the likes of Stourbridge and Royston and everything. It's a massive month coming up for them.
Indeed it is, but this is a good Kettering Town squad. You can see by the signing of the season maybe is Dan Holman here, who's a fantastic signing. Just shows you what it means to Kettering Town. It put the fear of God into some teams. Kettering though have the same amount of points this season as they had the last season, but they haven't got a Hereford who are sort of running away with it this season. They're in control. Stanyard. That goes out for goal kick.
Yeah, they just look well oiled, don't they? I mean, there's obviously good players out there. There's obviously quality in areas, but all the money and all the quality in players and everything that you spend, or you get players in, it's all very well unless you're organised. You've got to be organised, and you've got to be, you know, that well-oiled machine, and that's what Kettering have done. You know, a lot of people have asked me, you know, is the league, you know, who haven't watched Kettering, is the league table accurate? Is that, you know, are they that good? And the thing is, I always say, look at the goals against column. That's the one to look at, because they're just not conceding many goals. And if you don't concede goals, this is what they discovered last season. You can score goals all day long, but if you don't concede any, then you're going to win matches and you're going to win titles, and that's what they've got right so far this season.
Indeed, the other thing that Kettering have got right again this season is the infrastructure behind the scenes is vastly improving, isn't it? You can see it all around the ground, and with the important news of the new ground, everything seems to be going Kettering's way at the moment, which is great for the long-suffering Kettering fans. As interception there, it's going to be Parker with the ball. He loses out though, picked up by Lim. But he loses it and Toseland comes away with it. Now, exciting times for Poppy's fans, and long may that continue as Salkin comes to the top of his head. Kings Lynn fans very vocal behind the goal there as Kelly finds Borg. Oh, right in the gentleman's parts there, but it finds Kelly. Toseland, and the ball out of play there. Meikle with it. There's Holman there pushing the ball back to Berry. Looked quite impressive so far. Again, he's got to settle into this new look Kettering Town side for him. Player quality though, he should be able to do that quite easily. And a good run out for the new signing. So Elsom. Back to Berry. Kettering taking their time with their build-up, finding their men nicely. Back to Elsom. So Berry on the far side. Finds Toseland, back to Berry. Steady progress from Kettering, like an American football sort of advancement. No yardage gain though.
No, they're keeping the ball for... they're keeping it pretty well, aren't they? They just happen to knock it around. They're leading 3-1. There's no reason why they shouldn't. It's all
training ground stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's it.
You know?
Yeah, and to be honest, you know, without getting too deep into these the conversation about these competitions, that's basically what this is all about, isn't it? Well, they'd be training otherwise, so they might as well train in a match.
Ed Palmer and myself were having a discussion in pre-match about attendances, if one thing, that since I think the last 9 games home and away in this competition, whichever guise it has been, there's been 1,837 spectators, and 612 of those came at AFC Rushden and Diamonds last season. Not a popular competition, the League Cup.
Yeah, if you're Kettering and you're AFC Rushden and Diamonds, unless you draw each other, you know you're not going to get an overly big crowd, and yeah, I'm not really sure what purpose the competition really serves, to be honest, because there's not a great deal of prize money available. It obviously costs money for teams to put games on, particularly on a Tuesday night. For teams that travel, they have to pay for their travel to get there and everything like that. And there's enough competitions for these what are part-time footballers to play. They don't really need it. I've never really understood the purpose of it, but at the same time, the Southern League get a sponsor for it. So you know, it's obviously important from their point of view, and if you're governed by them, then you play by their rules, don't you? It's just I just don't see what the clubs get from it, to be honest.
Well, Kettering leading 3-1 here. It's about 41 minutes of this first half gone as Holman gets the ball back to Meikle. Good work there from Meikle, nicely played, but Kings Lynn come away with just a heavy boot. Finds Towers, who chests it. Thought about playing it back to Elsom, changes his mind. Rather heavy there from O'Connor. Ball goes out of play. Now the lesser spotted Malcolm Lure has put the ball back into play. There's O'Connor, unlucky there cut out, but
there you go.
Now then we've got an offside flag here on our right hand side. Looked a bit dubious to me.
Didn't look offside,
didn't look offside at all. And my biased eye says it wasn't.
No, yeah, he looked on, I thought, but there you go.
Alexander Street then with this free kick for offside as we're coming towards the end of the first half. We won't be going to the studio at half time. We'll be staying up here in the cold. Salkin, nothing given there. Borg wanting a foul for nearly having his head taken off.
Yeah, they were unhappy about that over on the far side, weren't they? I'm not sure how much was in it, but they were definitely the fans were definitely screaming for a free kick.
Good work there from Meikle, still with the ball. Scored 2 cracking goals at Needham Market. On fire at the moment, Lyndon Meikle, showing there what skill he has. Ball back with him. O'Connor. So Kelly sends the ball through. It's cut out. And Dorr only finds Berry, who thought about passing it back, which indeed he does, to Elsom. Towers trying to find Holman. He does find Holman, but he's offside, and the shot from Holman just goes over the bar anyway. He looks at the linesman.
It's not quite happened for Dan Holman yet, has it? His first 45. He looks nice and sharp though. He looks fit.
He does.
You know, he looks like he's ready. He looks like he's ready to play, which is what they'll want whenever you come into a new team. It takes time to settle. Seen enough glimpses.
He's got class, hasn't he?
Yeah, you can see that step ahead. That it's all in the first touch. Have a look at his first touch, and then you'll see the quality that he's got. But yeah, he's going to be an asset. But you know, it's his first 45 minutes with a different team. It will take time to settle in. I'm sure he'll get at least an hour tonight, and then go again on Saturday.
Yeah, with the partnership with O'Connor, who's back from injury, it's exciting times for Poppers fans. But away come Kings Lynn. Good work though from Meikle, getting the ball back. Comes in, lovely play from Lyndon Meikle. Finds O'Connor. O'Connor though taken out by Parker. He goes down, and this is what we don't want to see. And physio comes on for Kettering, sports therapist. New sports therapist. So then,
not sure what happened there. I think it was just a collision. I don't think there was. It didn't look like there was anything more sinister in it. I think the referee's having a word because the Kingsland players weren't happy that he stopped the game. But
well, we don't want to see Aaron O'Connor on the floor. He's been out of action for 3 months, being helped up by the sports therapist. Is he okay? Looks a bit ginger. But, well, the 15 or so Kings Lynn fans that are behind the goal mouth there, giving the Kettering town manager a lovely welcome, and Marcus responding in kind. But, O'Connor has come off. He's grimacing a bit. This doesn't look particularly good, does it? So Kettering down to 10 men for the time being, and a foul to Kettering. The substitutes board saying 1 minute of added time as O'Connor takes a gulp of fluid. So O'Connor back on the pitch. That's good news for everybody.
I think he just looked a little bit stunned by it, didn't he? I'm not sure. I think it's just the impact that got him, but he seems to be okay.
Well,
it seems to be okay. They want to keep an eye on him. They might just take him off at half time just to it's not worth keeping him on if he's struggling. Not in this competition anyway. So.
No, Kelly Evans did well there to get that corner just before half time. Taken quick. There's Holman. Good ball to the back post. It's the bar and clear. That was Towers again.
Oh, hello. Oh.
Comes a shot from Kelly Evans, but it comes out to Froghawk. He's got Berry with him. Berry should win this, but he comes inside Berry. Froghawk who got that goal and is taken out there by Darrell Berry. I thought he'd been shot, but referee going to have a word with Berry. There's 2 added minutes. And Berry does indeed go into
That's called taking one for the team, that cooking.
Into the book. No, I won't have that. So
look, I think Jarrell Berry thought that he was fouled in the build up, and he's then taken law into his own hands and wiped the player out and taken a booking, and instead of having a clear run on goal, they've got a free kick.
Yep, so we are into time added on, and as Dorr is going to take this free kick just before half time towards the back post, headed out by Salkin. Should be a goal here. It's cut out by Towers. In it comes again, and well wide there by Dylan Edge. Any touch on that, and that could have been 3-2, but as it is, it's 3-1.
I mean, to be honest, when Kettering have been under pressure, they've almost put themselves under pressure rather than Kings Lynn creating it. You know, it's just been a couple of mistakes here and there, and a couple of slips here and there that have let Kings Lynn in rather than actually creating anything. They've looked a threat when they've had that opportunity, to be fair. But it's just tell you one thing: if you're going to make an error, make it in this game.
Exactly. Get through it without any injuries and see how it goes.
Start giving.
Well, that was an interesting decision there from referee Ben Cook. No relation, I hasten to add. But,
can you not go and head the ball anymore?
It doesn't look like it, does it?
No.
It Kettering Town bench action that, but of course they've been struck dumb.
There have been plenty of past footballers who will be turning in their graves and turning their nose up at that. And even just had a quick look at Ian Culverhouse, who was a fantastic player for the Mighty Canaries in his day, and and he would have made numerous headers like that without a free kick. But there you go.
Well, there we are then, half time here at Latimer Park in this CSS Challenge Cup second round. Kettering Town 3, Kings Lynn Town 1. And we'll keep the camera in the centre circle. And the Kings Lynn fans voicing their opinion to Jarrell Berry in terminology that I don't want to describe for fear of being hauled up in court.
Well, you just got, well, they're football fans. Well,
exactly.
Kettering have got a load of angels, haven't they?
Well, this is it. We're going to remain on the gantry for the half-time period, talking a load of, well, was it cobblers? Was that? Well, oh yeah.
You never told me that, Cookie.
Well, yeah, we didn't know we were going to be screening it live.
Yeah,
you
Paul
see.
White, Paul White will talk to you.
White, you want to come up? Well, we'll have a chat with Paul White. We're going live, so Paul White going to come up and. Yeah, okay, that's...
What are you trying to say? What's he saying?
I'm not sure. As you can see, we're not used to this, are we, up here on the gantry? It's going to have Paul White join us, and, oh yeah, look at that, look.
He'll come and talk some more sense.
He'll come some more sense than we can,
and
give his opinions on the first half.
I think it was good. I think it was a good half for Kettering, wasn't it? Marcus Law will be really pleased. He's put a strong team out, and they've pretty much dominated the game. Scored 3 nice goals, and deserve the lead.
Here is the record breaker himself. It's Paul White. Paul, good evening.
Good evening, Cookie.
And what's your verdict on that first half then so far?
Poor start, but I think the class shows through in the end. The quality of players we have out there, we should be maybe 3, 4, 5 on up, so it is what it is.
Different position for you, looking from the sidelines. Did you really want to be out there, or aren't you that bothered getting Lewis a game?
I think it's good for Lewis getting a game. You know, he's let's be real to him. He's coming every away game, every home game. He warms me up, he helps me out, he does everything for me. So it's good to see him out there getting his experience. And you know, he plays for us during the week, some days on the Wednesdays or the Thursdays with the education lads. So you know, fair play to him. He's getting his chance. Hopefully he doesn't take it though, because I don't know position. Well,
you're certainly getting up the rankings in the clean sheets. We discussed it over social media a little while ago, didn't we? And you're getting up there. You're 14th, I think, overall now, and yeah. It must be great. I mean, to be in that position. And there's one person that Adam Sollett only played 57 games and he had 35 clean sheets for Kettering. That's quite remarkable. Yeah. But you're certainly up there with them. You do like the clean sheets. I saw you on Saturday, you know, really fighting to keep that clean sheet.
Yeah, I think it's more of an individual thing, and at the end of the day, you look in pre-season, you set a target and stuff, and whether you hit that target or not, it doesn't really matter. But the main thing for us is the common goal for the team, getting a promotion or winning the league, and if the clean sheets come as well, then fair enough, you know. But the main thing is winning the league or getting promotion, and then if I get the clean sheet the record again, then that's a bonus. But we'll see how it goes. We're getting there.
Of course, not only are you Kettering's #1, you're also Kettering's #1 with the future Lions, with Luke Graham, who's not here this evening, and will be
on the bench. He's on the bench.
As he will be out there tomorrow at KBA, I think. Are you with us tomorrow?
Yeah. So with the development lads out tomorrow. Well, for me, coming from kind of full-time football down to part-time football, it was a bit of a culture shock. I'm not going to lie. You're used to going in training every morning, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and finishing at 12, and going for a bit of lunch and having a crack with the lads back in the house and whatever. And then you come to part-time football and you have to work and stuff. You know, in the club, when I dropped down, the club were very good with me, sorting me out with a job. You know, I'm loving what I'm doing. It's getting me back in the full-time environment, having a little banter with the lads. Obviously, with Massaro on the bench, Joe Massaro. It's a good experience with him, but you know, if I can pass on anything to them and help them during the day and maybe produce 1 or 2 players while we're at it, then it's a success. You know, it's always a big thing for the club to have an academy. You know, some days you see the under-7s, under-6s, under-8s up here, and look, that's brilliant, because at the end of the day, when we do move back to Kettering, whether I'm here or not in some capacity, we'll see, but when we do move back to Kettering, those lads, those 6, 7-year-olds, they're going to be 15, 16, 17, whatever they're going to be, and they're the next generation of fans or next generation of first team players. So it's good to see them around the place at this time, and hopefully a bit of success as well, so they can enjoy it.
Last week I watched one of your sides against Boston United, who are a league higher. Well, their first team are a league higher than Kettering. They did very well against that opposition. It was a very good game, very competitive, and it must be encouraging to see these players develop.
Yeah, well, we're probably, in the whole grand scheme of things, we're probably a year ahead of where we should be. We were toying with the idea of entering the National League Youth Alliance for next season, and we said, you know, let's do it this year and put the young lads in, give them the experience. So majority of our side in the under-19s is under-17s, so you're playing 2 years above yourself. That Boston team we seen last week, they're majority 18, 19-year-olds, and our lads are 16, just turned 17. So you know, it's a great experience. You know, if you're good enough, you're old enough. That's what he's saying anyway. And the more experience we can get those lads, the better it's going to stand them in years to come. And look, we played Boston United two or 3 weeks ago. We got beat 3-0 at their stadium, which is great experience for the lads. And then you come back 2 weeks later at KB and you draw 2-2, wasn't it? So that's progression in 2 or 3 weeks. So the lads we have are eager to learn. They're good lads, you know. So
if there is anyone watching, or any parents of children that are watching, how can they become part of Kettering Town's future?
Well, you look at it, whatever age, 4, 5, 6, you get onto Jason Turlin. You know, they do a great job with the young lads, all the way up, like I say, up from 4s upwards. You have the disability team, the ladies team, the girls team. So wherever you are, where you're from, what age you are, it doesn't matter, gender, anything, you can come and join. You know, we're a very inclusive club. It's a very community kind of club. You know, the fans saved the club back in the day. Richie's come in and saved the club back in the day, and you just see the crowds we're getting. I think the average attendance is 700 or something like that. So when I first come here 2 or 3 seasons ago, we were around 400 or 500. So you know, there's interest there, and all you got to do is look back in the day at Rock and Road, and you know, I'm gutted I never got to play there, but you look back and you see 1,500, 2,000, and I'm actually a Leeds fan, and I've seen Kettering play Leeds back.
Haven't you? At least got help.
So I've seen Kettering play Leeds back in the day and stuff, and you look at those days and you say, why can't we have those days again? You know, but it starts in the league. We need to go up a league and push on from there.
We've just had the signing of Dan Holman from Aldershot, who was on the bench in that FA Cup game. That's a huge signing for Kettering Town.
I remember when I was at Forest Green, I was number 2, and we were looking to win the league that year, and Cheltenham ended up winning it. And you're a friend of mine, Danny Wright, but you Dan Holman up front as well. And I know the Cheltenham fans, they were our local rivals, but they call him Dan Goldman. So I think he scored 15 goals in 18 games that year. We couldn't get near him when we played him. And you look at the squad we have now, and you know, it's probably a Marcus Law Christmas list really. When you look at it, your strikers, Reece Honus, Aaron O'Connor, obviously Dan Holman now. You start going back further the pitch, Marcus Kelly, Richens, Mills, Meikle, defenders Luke Graham, Snoop, Durrell. You know, you're looking through the whole team and you're seeing the depth and the quality and the experience, and it's not experience that players are over the hill and they're looking for their final payday. You've got players who are in their prime, experience, still able to do the business and wanting to succeed things. You know, we all have the same goal. Like I said, we all have a common goal: get promotion, win the league. Hopefully we're doing well at the time being doing that, and let's see if we can push on. Like I say, if you're an opposition team and you look at our squad on paper, I'll be scared as a keeper, so I'm lucky to be on the other end.
After the games, especially against Newmarket and I think the
Needham
Market, yes, we'll have those as well, and also against Stratford Town when we beat them. The dressing room is quite loud, isn't it, with the music, etc. It must be a good dressing room to be in.
Yeah, it's a funny one actually, because in pre-season, after all the pre-season games, lads are saying, "Oh, is there team spirit here? We have a very quiet group," you know. And I don't know. It's just I suppose winning is the main thing, really. Once you're winning, the atmosphere starts to pick up. But you know, everyone gets on with everyone. We all have banter in the WhatsApp groups. We all have banter in the dressing room. There's no bad eggs. It's brilliant. It's a good laugh to be around, to be fair.
Who's the club joker, would you say? The prankster, the mischievous one, is the one?
Mischievous one. I'd say a few fingers are pointed at me. I'm not too sure on that. We'd have to go to court about that. But probably me, Lyndon Meikle, Rhys Honus, Aaron O'Connor, those kind of characters. I think everyone has a bit, really. There's no really quiet ones. Gary Stower's a bit quiet, but you know, get a few drinks in him and he comes out of his shell. But yeah, I think everyone's involved in the jokes and stuff like that. So I think it's a very inclusive group.
That's great, isn't it? That's all about bonding and getting together. And as you say, promotion is the goal for this season, and with this squad, hopefully that will be achieved. But got a difficult end of November, beginning of December, with the amount of games that are all here at Latimer Park, if the weather's kind to us. And it must put a lot of pressure on those legs eventually when this glut of games comes in.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, like I said, with the depth in the squad we have, you look at tonight and you're playing Kings Lynn, who obviously have a good side, and we've had many good battles with them before, and you're able to make 4 or 5 changes, but you're making 4 or 5 changes now where you're bringing in actually like for like quality. So you're probably looking at a squad and you're probably looking at 16, 17, 18 players that potentially could start. I think that's the difference this year in comparison to maybe not so much last year, but the year before and stuff. You have players coming in that are like for like quality, and you don't weaken the side when you're bringing players in. And when you have a run of games like we have now against good opposition, and like you say, a bit of pressure on us to keep up, because there's obviously teams chasing us, and you can spring that quality from the bench and that depth, then it takes a little bit of pressure off, because you know people coming in are like for like.
The big fear at pre-season and the beginning of this season was the loss of Matty Stevens, who scored all those goals on loan last season from Peterborough United, but he's almost been forgotten, hasn't he, now?
I wouldn't say forgotten. You know, Matty was a great lad, and let's not forget he had a little tough period when he first came in. He wasn't scoring, he was missing chances and stuff like that, and it shows the character that he has to get through that little bad patch and start. What did he get? 31, 32 goals over the season or something like that. So you know, you got to give credit where credit's due to Matty. He made a huge impact last year, took a bit of pressure off Aaron and Brett, and you know, he's a great addition. But look, fair play to Matty. He's stepped up a league to Slough. You know, it's a good club down in Slough. I think we have some good battles with Slough as well, but they're a good club. It's close to where he's from, and you know, it's working out to be a good move for him. Hopefully he can push on and go further up the ladder, which probably his ability deserves. But for us, you look at the resurgence in Rhys Honus this year up front. The impact he had in the first 10-15 games was frightening. You've Aaron O'Connor coming back, 40 goals a season. You know, that's frightening, and then you have Dan Holman coming into the picture as well. So, you know, we're well
happy days, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, as long as they start putting in the back of the net and we keep keeping clean sheets, I think Latimer Park will be a very happy place.
Thank you, Paul, for your astuteness there of the Kettering Town squad, and hopefully we can continue tonight to get a few more goals, and you'll be back between the sticks on the Saturday at Stamford in the FA Trophy.
No problem. We'll hand you back to John Dunham as well to put you all to sleep again.
Thank you Thank you, Paul. The teams are coming out for the second half as we welcome back John Dunham, and Ed Palmer knocks the icicles off his nose as gets the camera back on the pitch. Good to hear Paul White there, very informative, and everything about Kettering Town. I hope you enjoyed that. So we're going to be kicking off the second half. A few vocals being raised, John.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves, aren't they? The Kings Lynn fans. Fair play to them. Absolutely fair play to them. They, plenty of them have travelled for this, and like I said before, if you're going to travel,
Reece Honus there with the
you might as well enjoy yourselves.
Chips.
Looks like there's a change for Kettering.
Yes. There's this Cal Templeton coming on.
Yep. Debut for him.
Yeah, Cal Templeton wearing 20. Coming on 4. So Templeton replaces Marcus Kelly. And Malk hasn't heard that. He's just getting the board out to tell everybody.
This would be interesting to have a look at Cal Templeton, wouldn't it? Because it's obviously the first opportunity. I think everyone's had the chance to see him. They'll be happy that Marcus Kelly's come through 45 minutes without any problems, and he's done his business for the night. And,
Lively player, isn't he, Kelly? He's
oh, he's a good player.
Good player.
Yeah,
oozes class.
Yeah,
Some of the goals
player.
he scored this season, especially at Latimer Park, have been exceptional, haven't they? And it's very pleasing to see that Kettering have got this depth in squad, and as Paul White says, you can see they enjoy it. They all work well together. Long may that continue. Well, we're about to kick off then for the second half. You're seeing this live on Kettering Town's Poppies TV, and it's not audio, it's live imagery. Kelly Evans with the first throw-in of the second half. Meikle feeds the ball through, trying to get Holman away. Holman has got the ball. He's got O'Connor with him, but he does too much with it. It comes off his feet, and it's going to be a throw-in. Good ball there to Lim, and he wild shot that smashes into Ed Palmer's car behind the fence over there.
He's
rather wild.
I don't know, that shot was a bit wide, but I've been impressed with him whenever I've seen him. This Harry Lim is a young lad for Kings Lynn, who I know it's just on looking on things on social media. I think the Kings Lynn fans, and I'm sure they'll scream at me, those who are listening, whether I'm right or wrong or not. But I think they really rate him and thought he was worthy of more chances than he actually had before now. And whenever I've seen him, I think he looks a real good prospect for him actually.
It's good blooding for him as well for the young Lynette players, and they've got some experience on the bench with Hawkins and Henderson who can come on, but probably won't see them. They've got a few injuries themselves. There's no Michael Gash in the squad this evening. Templeton gets his first touch. And Toseland wins that one, allows it to go out for the throw-in. Of course, there's no Callan Thomas with Kings Lynn anymore now. He left Kettering for Kings Lynn and he's joined Colville a week or so ago.
Still disappointed that he left actually. He's a good player and I thought he did really well for Kettering last season. I think he would have fitted nicely into this team, but obviously he had his own reasons for going. It obviously didn't work out for him, and it's a good signing for Colville, who have had a fairly decent season so far.
They have indeed. It's a side I'm looking forward to see. I saw him in pre-season a couple of years ago playing Kettering. That'll be completely different though when we meet in the league, as the ball gets back to Berry under a bit of pressure, plays it to Elsom, has to play a wild kick, get rid of it, which he does. Stanyard only gives the ball away to Meikle. Wide ball over to Kelly Evans on the far side. I've been very impressed with Kelly Evans this season.
Yeah, good player.
Is a good player.
Yeah.
From the moment he came onto the park, the first game of the season, you could see that he was a class player, even in pre-season.
Yeah, it was noticeable in pre-season a couple of times. I think I came to the last pre-season game against Bedford, and he was particularly good. He hadn't quite signed then, but I think that performance in that game sealed the deal. Good player.
Well, Borg has gone down and still stays down. Let's hope nothing untoward's happened there with his international appearances looming up. He's got the ball back, so he must be okay. But he's giving it away. Well, Holman there was foul. The referee was going to blow for a foul, but he gives Kettering the advantage. Holman does well. Good work there from Chosen, back to Holman. Comes inside, body checked. And it looks like Owen Gilbert is going to find himself in the referee's essay of
that
bookings.
Was good from Holman, wasn't it? Because he had the ball in here and you know, in the middle of the pitch, and it looked like he'd lost it for a second, then got it back. Nice passing move from Solken into Tozen, and then back to Holman, and then Holman's used all of his experience there and been fouled, and a really good free kick in a good position.
Well, we know what Tozen can do with his left foot. Very good with the dead ball. Commentator's curse, of course, that is, but we shall see. But it's a very good position for the Poppies. Well, O'Connor got too much on that, didn't he?
You'd almost put your mortgage on it, wouldn't it? It was a free header at the back post. He just headed it down into the ground, and it's gone over. And a good delivery from, like you said, like as you correctly predicted, Cookie. Great
Very
delivery.
rare that is, isn't it?
Take it while you got one, mate. But great delivery from Ben Tozen, set up, and yeah, Aaron O'Connor will be disappointed.
Templeton heads the ball out from Street's kick. My first look at Templeton, he's from Leicester. Toseland gets the ball only to Dorr. Macaulay. Frohawk on the other side. Back to Stanyard. He fires one in, but Towers will allow that to go out. Looked like a little push there, but could have been a corner, but nothing given.
Good work rate from Aaron O'Connor there, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you see him track him back. He's willing to do that, isn't he? All 35 years of him, he gets around the pitch and
a couple of years' time, John, he'll be a good player, won't he, once he gets into it?
Well, I reckon maybe in a year or two, he might even have half a chance of getting a game for Kettering Town Vets, mate. To be honest with you, but you know, that's one for the gaffer though. He'd have to come to training with us and earn his spot though. But you know.
So Borg plays the ball through to Holman. Templeton. Away goes Toseland. Does well, but loses the ball. Stanyard trying to release Frohawk, but Meikle and Kelly Evans do enough to get the ball forward as Kelly Evans advances. Holman, a lovely little flick there, and just Elson brought back into action. That goes from one goalkeeper to the other.
That was good defending from Rory Macaulay there, I think it is, who is a regular, I think, for Kings Lynn. Is a good centre half, and it was good because it was a lovely touch from Holman and almost put O'Connor away. Good covering from Macaulay, and he cleared up the danger. But that was encouraging signs between Holman and O'Connor there.
It was indeed. It'd be nice to see Holman get on the score sheet. Just so I can get it in my statistics column, you see, of debutant goal scorer. But, well cut out by Berry to Templeton. Wayward there from the number 6 Macaulay. Templeton, though, has a sand wedge as a foot, and that has been chipped out for a throw-in. Darren Edge doing well. He's got nobody with him, though. He has now. Parker gets the ball back. Good tackle. Cleared by Toseland. Only to Ship. O'Connor, a little flick to Borg. Borg comes away with it and is armed down by Stanyard. Stanyard made no attempt getting the ball, just rolled young Borg down.
How good was that from Aaron O'Connor?
Lovely, wasn't it? Lovely little flick.
Lovely back heel, and then Borg does what he does, doesn't he? The problem is when you've got that much pace, you know, one touch and if you're flying like that, then down you go.
Another slip there, and Meikle gets the ball, but he's under a bit of pressure. Meikle still fighting to get it. Holman in the action. Young Lim trying to keep this ball in play, does quite well. He's under pressure though. Well, Ben Toseland gets the ball through though, but only towards Parker. Parker though beaten to it by Templeton. And O'Connor is forced back. And the offside flag goes up, but good intention there from Towers.
Good challenge that was from Carl Templeton, wasn't it? He easing himself into this game, and that was a good challenge on the edge of his own penalty area. A really important challenge. Good play from Ben Toseland, and Jarrell Berry in the corner as well as the striker was trying to earn his team a corner. So good defending from Kettering.
Harmless header there, giving Lewis Elson a chance to warm his feet and hands. Not too bad a pitch, not like the North Face tonight, is it? It's not. It's been colder, hasn't it?
I've survived without my gloves so far. In fact, I haven't got any, so there you go.
Well, same here. I've got none.
No hat tonight either, though. No. It's it's a pleasant November evening.
It is, and Salcombe can't keep that in. It's a throw in to the Linnets. Templeton gets a useful ball there to Holman. Holman flicks it on. He's got O'Connor with him.
He's gone for it.
Oh, what a good shot and great save there from Street. Lovely work from Dan Holman.
Ed Palmer's just absolutely nailed exactly what that was. It was effortless. That's what it was. It was a lovely play to get past the defender in the initial part of it. And then as soon as he cut inside, he was only thinking one thing, and it was a good hit, good save.
So they've been very lively as Dan Holman. Very impressed with what I've seen so far. That's another bow, another string. Different to a work ethic, as Marcus would say, to his squad.
Oh, absolutely. He offers a different dimension, doesn't he? I mean, aside from Aaron O'Connor, apart from him, you know, they haven't got another natural striker in there, and Holman is just a natural striker. Just a natural striker, isn't he?
Well, away comes Parker. Might try a shot. Blocked, though, by Towers. And if Borg can get by this play here, look at the pace of Borg, and here he goes. Still Borg. Comes inside, might try a shot.
Oh, no.
Oh. Well. Unbelievable. Did everything right until right at the end, everything was wrong. And we've just been told the attendance is 158.
Been well worth it, isn't it?
Yes, 158.
That was brilliant from Borg, wasn't it?
It was excellent.
As soon as he was one-on-one with the fullback, he knew exactly what was going to happen. Tap that ball and off you go. And then he's waltzed into the area, done all the hard work, put it in the back of the net, and he's skied it over the bar. He looks a real prospect. It's just that pace. It's so hard to deal with. Good header.
Well, we haven't seen much from Kings Lynn so far in this second half. Not really put young Elsom under any pressure whatsoever throughout the game, to be honest.
No, it's like I was saying in the first half, Cookie. When Kings Lynn have got in, it's been down to Kettering making mistakes, to be honest. Which is, you know, when you look at the two teams out there, that's what you'd expect, to be honest. So, yeah, we haven't seen much of an attacking threat from Kings Lynn as yet.
Well, like a training day for Kettering Town as the ball veers over into pitch 2. Might go in the net. Yeah, it hasn't got enough pace, is it, to go in the goal? Right. Ship's thrown and he finds Berry. Ship taken from the wrong place, but referee lets that go. Feeds the ball through to Noble. And cut out there by Kelly Evans once again. Early doors, I know, John, but if you're looking for a Kettering Town man of the match, who would you be thinking about?
I think there's been a few contenders. I've been really. I know he's just skied one over the bar, but I think Andrea Borg's been excellent. He's put a lot of injected a lot of pace into it, like he does every time he either starts or comes on. But he's played very well. I think Aaron O'Connor's played extremely well. I think Lyndon Meekle's run the show pretty much again for them. So there's plenty of contenders out there so far.
Kelly Evans to Meekle. Oh, and a late tackle there on Meekle. Could be another booking here. Referee having a quick word. Not going to book him. It was a very late tackle.
Far be it from me. Far be it from me to defend the referee here. I'm going to try and defend the referee here.
Don't, John. Don't.
I'm not sure he. Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I can see why the referee hasn't booked it.
Chance here for Kettering, but Street comes out under pressure there from Borg and O'Connor. Still 3-1 here at Latimer Park in this CSS Challenge Cup second round. Watching it live on Pompey's TV. Some imagery for you this evening as the wind cuts in. On goes John Dunham's hat or hood, and Kettering Town get the better of that judgment. Elsom comes out with Berry. Looks like that Kings Lynn are going to make a substitution. Going to be Charlie Rudland. Looks like he's coming on, flicked on by Solken. And rolls harmlessly to Elsom. So yeah, Charlie Rudland looks quite a youngster. On the far side, though, it's Kelly Evans, but the ball is back with Kelly Evans. Good football all around there, really. Kelly Evans with a bit of movement. Right, here's to Holman. The flag goes up, much to the disgust of the Kettering fans who are in line with him.
That looked close.
It did look close, and here comes the substitution. So Craig Parker has had a good game for the Lions. He comes off to be replaced by Charlie Rudland.
Very much Ian Culverhouse, very much using it as a chance to look at his squad, isn't he? He's not putting his. He's got a couple of big guns on the bench, I think, and you know, I don't think he's going to be using them. I think he's going to be just having a good look at what he's got. And I think, you know, I know they're losing 3-1, but I think he'll be fairly happy with the way they've worked, because Kettering have got a very strong team out there, and Kings Lynn players, their quality in the final third hasn't been brilliant, as we've just seen just there, but their work rate's been good. So I think from their point of view, I think Ian Culverhouse will be quite happy with what he's seen, to be honest.
Kettering though have seemed to drop to gear, haven't they? They're not at full throttle.
They'll be pretty much, don't like to use the phrase, but I think they'll pretty much be on autopilot now. They would have been told at half-time, most important thing right now is make sure you're fit for Saturday more than anything else. But you know, the second half has had much more of a training ground feel about it, I think, from both sides.
It has. Well, hopefully after the game we'll get some of the managerial team in, and one of the players to give their opinions and thoughts on this game, as Meikle sidesteps. It's a good ball over to Evans, if he can keep it in. He can't. He can, but he's given it away, unfortunately. But very good work there from the youngster.
Great play from Lyndon Meikle again, wasn't it? Just again, that word that Ed Palmer used earlier, just effortless. You know, just skips past the Kings Lynn player like they're not even there. Immediately looks for the switch of play, and he got it in the end.
Tozer making a bit of a mistake there, letting Rutland get his first touch. Away comes Ship, nobody with him though, and good defending, yeah, great defending by Berry, playing the ball on to Ship, and it's a Kettering Town throw-in. Around 27 minutes to go of this second half. Kettering leading it 3-1, a goal down very early on, but 3 good goals in reply. And Holman can't get this one. Ship can. Meikle allows that to go out for a Kettering throw-in to Holman. Well, Brett took it off from Holman's foot there and tried a deft shot that just went over. I think he should have left it for Holman, really.
You know, I don't think I ever want to see Brett Solkin try that ever again, to be honest. 25-yard curling shots is not what got him to where he is today, I don't think. Scored from outside the penalty area for Kettering. There you go.
Oh, thanks.
there's a question for you.
How about the one at Notts County?
Was he in the area by then? Oh.
Was he?
No, they were away. Yeah, I think he was.
Interception there from Toseland. Comes inside. Templeton. Meikle. Unlucky there from Meikle, hit him straight in the face. He's laughing about it, but
he's gone to chest it, and he's gone right in his face.
He's laughing about it now, but that hurt. Ball back with Ship. Berry intercepts. Still Berry. It's a poor ball though, as O'Connor has to track back. Gets it back though to Kelly Evans. Good work there from O'Connor, who slips. A few players have slipped tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure there's good work again from O'Connor, wasn't it? You know, the ball's going out of play. Forgive him for not kept it in, and they've retained the ball, so it's good work rate again. Ben Milnes looks like he's going to be joining us.
Yes, Kettering about to make their second substitution. But it's Holman. Still Holman. Feeds Meikle. Meikle turns. And Borg there just a bit unlucky to not feed that ball. Streak came out, did well.
Looks like it's going to be for Aaron O'Connor, I think, by the looks of things.
Oh no, no. Well, Berry finally gets it away to Sulkin. Meikle to Holman. Lovely turn from Holman, feeds through O'Connor, and up goes the flag. Unbelievable again.
Good play from Holman again. Then you see the little turn and the little nutmeg, and then the ball through. That looked close.
Looks like that could be O'Connor's last involvement. His numbers on the board down here. Ball back with Elsom. Yeah, the substitute gives the ball to Toseland. He finds Templeton. Sulkin loses it with a double shuffle. Templeton has to win it back. He does well. Berry was hoping that Elsom was going to come out, but has to turn. Well, a great ball to Kelly Evans on the far side, who feeds through. The flag was going to go up. Foul there on Templeton. And Kettering are now going to make this substitution. Indeed, it is Aaron O'Connor who's coming off. He's scored again. 2 in 2 for O'Connor.
Change for Kings Lynn as well. Another young lad coming on by the looks of things. Good performance from Aaron O'Connor. Looks sharp, doesn't he? It's encouraging to see. Every Kettering fan will be happy to see him looking as sharp as he does. Another goal, and there'll be plenty more of those before the end of the season. Don't worry about that.
There's Joseph Gascoigne coming on for Kings Lynn. He's replacing Dylan Edge. Yeah, another good workout for Aaron O'Connor, who's getting his fitness levels back. Looks very sharp, and with Holman up front as well, it's going to be a good partnership. A foul there on Holman, quickly taken. Mills' first touch to Meikle, gives the ball away though. Here's Sulkin, well up there. Toseland to Borg. Borg steps inside, beats 3, gets it to Meikle. Back to Borg. Can he get onto it? He can't. Ball though with Kelly Evans. He gives it away to Rudland. And Kings Lynn getting a rare chance into the Kettering half. Well, not quite. And an aimless ball to be chased by Towers, who lets it run out. I say Kings Lynn haven't really shown any threat at all, have they, up front? And obviously their first teamers, that are absent, it shows they haven't got quite as much strength in depth probably as they would like. And I think they're making their third and final substitution. They are. It's Freddie Cowson coming on.
Yeah, so they've chucked their 3 substitutes on, who are the names that I don't recognise. So that tells you everything there about what this
Jack
evening's,
Noble coming off. Didn't introduce Hawkins or Henderson to the more established players. And just seeing this match out now, as I say, it's more of a training.
It's become that for both
exercise.
teams, I think, Cookie. And like you say, I think Kettering have just stepped off it a couple of gears. They'll fit. They feel like they've got the game, you know, pretty much in the palm of their hands and in control, haven't they? And Kings Lynn, like we said, Ian Culverhouse is having a look at a couple of youngsters and having a look at what he's got. So,
I mean, to be fair,
like
to
to
Kings Lynn,
just going to just you know, just peter out a little bit. Another offside. How many times have Kettering been caught offside today?
I don't know. It must be about 15 times, I think, because every time the ball goes down, the linesman's flag goes straight up. Must be some string on him, I think.
Yeah.
But in all fairness to Kingsland, as I was going to say, they haven't conceded in the second half, despite Kettering's domination with the ball.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, Kettering, aside from Andrea Borg, where you know he's made a great run and probably should have scored when he worked himself into a good position. Kettering haven't threatened that much themselves, have they? To be honest.
Well, a rare corner for Kingsland as the ball goes out of the ground.
That wind is starting to bite now a little bit.
It's like this in July up here, John.
Ed Palmer's just called us wimps.
He's wearing gloves.
Oh, no, yeah. Embarrassing, isn't it?
So a corner to the Linnets. As time marches on. It's a poor corner indeed, and it's cleared out to Borg.
Oh, good touch. Good touch. I wish my third touch was as good as that first touch.
Toseland to Berry. Toseland trying to find Borg. Reaches Holman. Holman's got 2 around him. Loses the ball. Berry intercepts. Lovely ball if Borg can get through here, but it's just hit a little too hard. And
there's been a couple like that from Lynn Meikle, hasn't he? He's played the right ball, it's just not quite executed it right. But always looking for that ball in behind with the pace of Borg.
I think that Reece Honus with his pace isn't in the squad tonight, being rested. Other players not involved tonight. Gary Storer coming back from injury. James Bryant we've not seen for a year or so. He's fighting as well.
I think it's, Marcus Law said, didn't he, in his interview with you guys after the game on Saturday, that Gary Storer was hoping to start running again this week. I think, didn't he? So which is great news, because I mean he was fantastic in the first few weeks of the season, wasn't he? And it was a real blow when he suffered that injury.
Well, a chance here. The ball looks like it's gone out. It hasn't. It has.
Yeah,
three signals there, but a foray into Kettering's penalty area for the visitors.
But yeah, Gary Storer coming back into it just strengthens the squad again, doesn't it? It's just it's looking like a really good squad. It really is.
If you've just joined us, it's 3-1 to Kettering Town. All goals in the first half. Official attendance is 158. Toseland to Solken. Little flick there from Solken to Borg. Oh, lovely work from Borg. And unlucky not to thread his way through. Toseland takes up the gauntlet. Lovely cross here. And Holman just couldn't get himself onto it. Away comes Toseland again. If he gets another good cross in here, he does. There's Holman. And there it is, debut goal, 4-1.
There you go. I don't think that will be the last goal he scores for Kettering Cookie. That's my that's my prediction for you. But it was good. It was good. It was a good ball over the top from Lyndon Meikle, who looks like he's just about to come off. Good delivery from Ben Toseland. Good touch. Good finish. In off the post. Welcome to the club.
Well, that's the first debut goal for a Kettering player since Monash Magai last season at Bedford in the Big Free Bet competition. Again, a League Cup competition. And also the first debut goal since Ben Milnes against Slough on the opening day of last season as well. So he's in good company. 4-1 to the Poppies then, who have eased their way into this game. And Holman off the mark.
Yep. He'll be pleased. Marcus Law will be delighted. Dan Holman will be very happy, I'm sure. He's had a couple of openings, but that was that was his first proper real chance in front of goal, and he showed you what he's going to do. You know, it's one touch and bang, it's in the back of the net. And like I say, I think there'll be plenty more to come. His general play when he's had the ball has been very, very good. His movement has been excellent, and dare I say, it doesn't even look like he's broken sweat. So good signs.
Yeah, Marcus Law worked very hard to get that signing for Kettering Town, and needs to be congratulated on that. Certainly has put the stock into Kettering. Put the fear of God, I would have thought, in some of the sides. Milnes checked there, goes down. Milnes then taking this free kick, headed on by Towers. Toseland. And that comes off Sulkin, but referee brings play back for a foul. Toseland. Well, Gascoigne got his first real touch of the evening. Good work there from Towers. Long ball here for Borg to chase. Can he get on to the end of this? He can. He's got nobody with him. He's in the corner. What shenanigans are we going to get in the corner now? Is that ball on a bit of string on his foot?
Can't see what's going on now. We'll have to rely that was the right decision. Couldn't see what was going on, but he held the ball there for a few seconds, didn't he?
There's 8 minutes or so to go. It's a bit long to be wasting time in the corner of flag at the moment.
There's still 8 minutes to go. Wow. Yeah, it's cold. Yeah, it's been a cold second half.
Oh, it's been rather nice. When you're used to it, John, up here, seeing the Arctic conditions, it comes natural.
Definitely bring it. Don't start. Don't start. We've been good as gold all night.
Templeton. Well, that's an interesting one. It's just a pirouette. Not sure what that was.
How's he come to the conclusion that's a Kettering free kick? No, never mind.
Jumped over.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. I was a little bit worried that he was going to land on his head for a minute, but...
Oh, Towers, who got the equaliser in that first half, pumps the ball in towards Sulkin, who got the second goal. In comes Toseland, across the park there. There's Holman.
Yep.
And in again. 5-1. Holman gets 2. Surely not a hat-trick on his debut.
Well, it'll be a quick fire one if he gets one, doesn't it? But one brings 2, doesn't it? And it's another chance in front of goal. Good work from Ben Toseland again on the left-hand side. I couldn't see who had the original stab at it, but it's landed to him, what, 8-9 yards out in front of goal. He's not going to miss, is he?
Not going to miss, not experienced striker like that. So 5-1. Well, a good night's work for Marcus Law's side. They're saying Massaro scored here.
It was Holman again.
Holman. Paul White here trying to wonder what they're saying Massaro scored. I don't know what Paul's watching. Obviously, it went to him a little bit when he was up here with us at half time. But good banter. So, will Dan Holman get a hat-trick on his debut? That'll be a first.
No one ever done that?
Not since 1950.
No. You know who it was, Cookie. Don't keep us in suspense. Come on. What was his name? Come on.
We'll only mention it if he gets it.
Ah, keeping that one in the locker.
Keep that in suspenders. Might be a quiz question, you never know, one of my programmes yet. Great ball there from Toseland, finding Kelly Evans on the far side. Kelly Evans without pace himself, takes a step back, lovely work. And it goes for a corner. Tennis just been given out there, which I gave you earlier, of 158. I worked out the average for the last 9 games home or away in this competition, worked out at 210. So that's going to bring it down a little bit more. In it comes, Towers. And missed everybody really, and that should go out for a goal kick. But
good delivery again, isn't it? I think the one thing that Kettering have done tonight is when they've got into wide areas, their delivery into the box has been, in general, pretty good. They've caused problems from the wide areas, particularly Toseland's delivery, which we know all about anyway, has been very, very good. Oh, look, there's fireworks going off in the distance. They must know Kettering are 5-1 up.
Templeton then. Kelly Evans rises above, of course. Templeton again. Borg is in a rundown ship, but he wins that duel. Puts the ball out though, straight almost into the burger bar. Time ebbing away. Kettering win this one 5-1. Well, we shall be at Stamford on Saturday in the FA Trophy, the Build-Base FA Trophy. Ed Palmer and myself. See if Kettering can progress in the FA Trophy. And then someday we might get a league match down here.
Indeed. Hey, you got to enjoy the cup competitions while you're in them, and Marcus Law is obviously keen to enjoy them while Kettering are in them. So it'll be an interesting tie on Saturday, Cookie, because Graham Drury is a very fiery character. He'll have Stamford fired up for it, and you know, if Kettering go there and play well, then they'll have every chance of winning the game. But I think Stamford will certainly make them earn it.
Holman then, little flick from Solkin, trying to get Massaro away, but out comes Street. Toseland misses that completely. Berry comes in, puts it out for a throw-in. Carrison taking it. Gascoigne puts it out. Optimistic ball there from Toseland. It's won by Ship on the far side. Keeps it in. That Spoonster has a foul there.
He's in, Cookie. Oh, he's gone for it.
Well, that was almost the hat-trick we were looking forward to. Well, we didn't put Berry in our equation for man of the match, but he's been voted man of the match this evening for a very accomplished performance.
He's played very well.
Always does, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of a given with him, isn't it? But I think him and Declan Towers have dealt with absolutely. Yeah, they've dealt with absolutely everything that Kings Lynn have mustered up. You know, in general, it's been a fairly. I think they'd probably agree it's been a fairly straightforward night for him, to be honest.
Young Templeton's come on. He's quite a large character, isn't he? He's done okay as well. So it's been a very good performance in theory by, well, not in theory at all. It has been a good performance by the Poppies.
As long as they get through these last 5 minutes or so without any injuries, Marcus Law will be absolutely delighted, because these players have had a run out instead of training, which they'll be happier about. He's got some more minutes into good players, players who need it. He's managed to get a couple of youngsters on there without it changing too much. And his new star striker scored twice. I think he'll be a very happy manager tonight.
Yep. And let's hope we can progress in the FA Trophy on Saturday, putting our league plans behind a little bit, but I'm sure it'll all come right in the end. We're drawing towards the end of this game, 5-1 to the Poppies, against a very changed Kings Lynn side, it has to be said. Very strong Kettering side out there this evening. All played their part in a very good performance, the 158 that have come down this evening to watch this encounter. Ian Culverhouse has had a chance to review some of his fringe players and take a look at his squad. Certainly a different side to the side that beat Alvechurch 3-0 on Saturday. But that's what it's all about, as Kelly Evans comes away with the ball. Holman couldn't get there. 15 can. That's Gascoigne. He gets the ball to Lim, Harry Lim, who John's Dunham's very impressed with. Gets the ball over, but it's cleared by Towers. That goes for a corner.
Can't be long to go now, surely, can there? My hands are about to drop off.
So it's going to be Lim to take this. Cameraman sitting down now, so we can't see anything. So Lim away by Solkin. Lynn gets the ball back for the Linnets. Towers heads out. And there it's all over. Kettering Town 5, Kings Lynn Town 1. Quite a good workout for both teams. Kettering progressing the League Cup competition. They're at Stamford on Saturday. I'm going to nip downstairs pretty quickly. I'm going to leave you with John Dunham to just summarise the game. And I'll be downstairs ready for the interviews a little later. So thank you very much, John Dunham, for your contribution tonight. We've seen a good game.
Yeah, no, yeah, thanks for having me, Cookie. And yeah, like you say, good night for Marcus Law. He'll be really happy. He's put a strong team out. They've got the result that he would have wanted. And Dan Holman has scored twice on his debut, both goals of his coming in the second half. Obviously against an experimental Kings Lynn side, but a good workout. Doesn't look like there are any obvious injuries, and a job very well done by Kettering tonight. So yeah, overall they're in good shape. They're through to the next round, and it's on to Stamford on Saturday.
I'll just let them get settled in. Well, there we go then. That was a pretty quick dash down those windswept steps down into the studio as Kettering Town progress by 5 goals to 1 in this CSS. Second round Challenge Cup, it saw new signing Dan Holman get 2 goals, almost got a third. Would have been a dream start with a hat-trick, but 2 goals on your debut. Very few players have done that in recent years, and it just shows what a quality signing that Dan Holman is going to be. Other goals were scored by Brett Solkin, who else? Aaron O'Connor and Declan Towers. They went a goal behind from Jack Frohawk. It was a mistake, a slip by young Kelly Evans. Frohawk did well and ran on to slot the ball past Elsom in Kettering's goalmouth. We shall be bringing you highlights of this game later in the week, and also we hope to have some. I suppose we're going to get some people in from the game in a little while. Marcus Law should be very, very happy with his team's work this evening. It's very, very chilly out there. It's nice and warm in this studio, mind you, and we've been able to show you live footage on this one. We'll be able to do that during midweek. And I hope that you enjoyed what you saw when you did. You can see we were doing radio commentary earlier on, and then TV commentary as the imagery was there in front of you. Man of the match was Darrell Berry, and he was an exceptional game again. One player that didn't take part in the squad today was Luke Graham. Luke is back with Kettering Town after an absence of a few years. He's also our academy Supremo, along with Paul White, who was up there at half-time going through it. Luke, good performance by Kettering Town.
Yeah, I think we've proved again that we can rotate the squad around and get an emphatic result. And if you look at their team and our team, we had 5 that started Saturday, and I think they had a handful of players, and I think you can see the squad depth that we've got, and even lads coming off the bench. Some young lads there, Carl Templeton, who picks up from Leicester. Joe Massaro is on an education programme. Both acquitted themselves really well. So there's a nice depth to the squad at the moment. And of course, Dan Goldman, as we'll hopefully get to call him, showed his pedigree tonight.
It'd be nice for you to see young Massara get a few minutes there. He's one of your players, isn't he, really? And,
yeah. Like I said, we're been going at it now sort of 18 months since I've been here, and we're building things now, and we'll keep building year on year and get stronger and stronger, especially as hopefully get promoted this year. So, it's important that these young lads understand that even if it's a League Cup game, how we treat the game, everyone involved. If you look at the senior players, like Azza, and how he conducts himself in a game like that, we haven't got anyone who thinks they're bigger than what the club is or the occasion, and we're getting that winning mentality in whatever competition we have this year.
How is it for you then, Luke? This is about your third time back at the club, isn't it? With Kettering Town, you've been away for a little while. You've seen changes at the club, obviously, from Rockingham Road to Latimer Park. You're heavily involved in the Future Lions and the academy side of it. Must be great times for you, really.
It is, yeah. I obviously live up the road now, so for me it's perfect time. And obviously, as a footballer, you want to test yourself at the highest level. That's how I've always been. But it got to a point where I'm 33 next year, and I've still got a lot to offer on the pitch. But I think it's a perfect sort of chemistry now for me. The right time. Enjoying taking the coaching sessions with the first team lads on a Tuesday and having a bit of an input in a sort of player coach role, if you like, and sort of picking Marcus's brain. Try and have an impact that way as well. But obviously with the Future Lions, I fully believe in what we're doing. And Richie, I know people see him from afar and he's in China, he's all over the place, but I work with him closely on a day-to-day level, and I wouldn't be involved in it if I didn't believe in it, and I didn't think he was going to get it to where I'd like it to be. And I think hopefully in the next couple of years that will come to fruition, and we'll have a club established in the National League with a full-time academy set up that's outside Northampton town, and bringing valuable income into the football club. And at the end of the day, the next level, if we can get there this year, there's some big clubs at that level, and there's a lot of travelling involved, a lot more expenditure, and we're going to need players coming through. We're going to need to, like your Ben Tozens that we picked up from Northampton, we're going to need them type of players in around that squad, and have that squad depth. And like I say, I believe in what Richie's doing, and so far so good on that front.
On Saturday, you were a part of the team that won 3-0 at Needham Market. It was a very good second half performance, and that must have been a great game to be involved in. 3 spectacular goals that we can see on Poppers TV's websites. But keeps Kettering top of the league. Not had many home games in the league, just 4. There's going to come a point where we're going to get a glut of these games. How do you think the squad will handle that?
Well, the way I see it, we've still got Brights and Gastor to come back in the fold. So we've now got 14 senior players fit. Then you have, in my opinion, some young lads like Borgie, Toes, the keeper Lewis, still Jack O'Connor out on loan. But for me, we've still got Cal Templeton as well tonight. So there's also a lad Bradley, he was ill today. So we have really, on the face of it, we've probably got 18, and then a couple coming back. So I don't think that'll be an issue, personally. I think you look at the game since I've been here, we've been very solid defensively, which is a base which you want to build in. We've got 5 or 6 very good defenders, in my opinion, whoever plays. And I think now you're looking at Dan Holman along with Rhys Honus and Azza, and look at the quality we have up front. We already know we've got some good midfield players. I think the depth throughout is telling. And, I think if we have 1 or 2 injuries, like with Brights and Gastora, from what I've been told, Gastor probably was the most consistent player up until I come in. So I can't wait to see him play, because I've not really seen him play personally. So, and what he adds and the versatility he adds to the group. I know James Bryan was Player of the Year here a year or 2 ago. So they're 2 good players to come back in the mix. So yeah, I think we'll cope fine. Priorities, well, of course it's the league, and of course the FA Trophy brings a lot more income than what the League Cup does. But ultimately, their games there to keep fit, and it doesn't matter if you look at the Needham Market performance and the St Neots performance, very similar, where the first half probably weren't cohesive as a group, but with the players we have on the pitch, if we have that solid base and we keep organised, our quality will come through, our fitness levels will come through, and the depth of the squad and the players we're bringing on will come through and get you results. And I think in all the games I've seen so far, that's certainly been the case.
It is indeed, and we will hopefully continue that on Saturday at Stamford. Will be a hard fixture. We played them in pre-season, lost 1-0. I mean, it doesn't make a great deal pre-season, but should be a tough fixture at Stamford, Zico Stadium.
Yeah, they've got a great setup. Obviously, they've yo-yoed a little bit, haven't they, in recent years? But it's a big game for them, and at the end of the day, if you look at the Aldershot game where we're the underdogs, there's a spell there for 20 minutes where we're the better side at 1-0 and we score, and the game changes. So at the end of the day, it'll be exactly the same. We've got to go there solid, organised, whoever the gaffer picks, and break them down, get that first goal. And I believe in any game of football at the moment, with the defenders that we have, we get that first goal, we're going to win a game of football.
That's great news to hear. Great to have you back, Luke. I'll see you tomorrow, I suppose, at KBA. Who have we got tomorrow?
Good question. No, we've got Grantham at home, so Paul will be taking that, and I'll be assisting Paul tomorrow. But hopefully we'll pick up another result. Okay, Luke. Thank you. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to drop that stick in to me so that I can get your game recorded. There's Luke Graham then, who's back with Kettering Town at full throttle. Let's say with Kettering Town top of the league in the cup competitions, and we are heading towards another cup tie on Saturday at Stamford. Well, we do hope to get one of the managerial team in. No one's here at the moment. We'll keep going for a little while until I run out of steam, or unless Ed Palmer comes in to give us his analysis of the game. He's had a different angle of it from today. He was behind the camera, so all the camera action is due to my co-presenter Ed Palmer. No managerial team yet. Ed, in fact, is nipping back because it's warmer in here, you see, than it is up there. He's got his gloves off at the moment because he was quite cool up there on the gantry. For those of you who have not been on the gantry, you won't be allowed up there anyway, but it is blooming cold, to say the least, at the best of times, even in July. So, Ed, welcome back. Good behind the scenes there at the camera. Good performance by Kettering Town. Yeah. Really were not really out of second gear, were they? Really?
No. I mean, it was a poor first goal to give away, but it happens. It was a slip. A lot of players were slipping out there, and it just came at the wrong time. But after that, I mean, it was one-way traffic. I mean, even, let's be honest, with the Kings in goal, it was against the run of play. Calm performance, collected performance, and did what they needed to do today, which is just go out there and play well, and really it took care of itself.
We had two debutants that came on. Holman started. Dan Holman scored 2 goals, and Cal Templeton. They look like they're going to be very good additions to Marcus Law's squad.
Yeah. Obviously impressed with Dan Holman. 2 goals on your debut. You can't ask more than that, really.
You can have 3.
Well, you could ask 3, yeah. But when you're 4-5-1 up, it's goals really aren't your main aim. Cal Templeton actually came on and did really well, made 2 really good challenges, big, strong in the air, 1 headers. He's going to start giving Marcus Law a headache with team selections, because going into the winter months, he sat in that midfield role really well. He played the role that we see Brett play a lot, which is just sit in front of the back 4 and mop everything up. He did that really, really well, and I think he's a great addition.
Great addition indeed. We did hope to see we're going to get Bradley Kazenji on, but he apparently was ill. That's a shame, but he will no doubt make his debut at some time. But how much can people read into Kettering Town 5, Kings Lynn Town 1?
Not so much the scoreline, I don't think, but certainly the play. I mean, we saw Kettering players pulling off back heels and flicks left, right and centre, and Borg, although he should have scored at the end of it, made a mockery of about 6 players just running straight through them. It's game time. It keeps the core of the team in the winning momentum. So he's had a lot of players there that played on Saturday and will likely play on Saturday again. So they're used to winning now, and it was important to do that on the back of a couple of losses, because obviously we had the Leaston and then Aldershot. And then obviously the draw with Tamworth, so it's important to get.
Let's hope that's our blip then.
Well, yeah, and it is important to get your big game players back to winning ways as quickly as possible. And I think that probably would have been in his mind, Marcus Law, at the beginning of this game. And think, do I bring my more experienced players, Brett, Aaron O'Connor's, your Marcus Kelly's? Do we bring them back into the squad just to make sure that they're used to winning again? And it's worked well, and you can't ask for any more going into a game having just won 5-1.
You can't indeed, and you're going to play what's in front of you. I'm sure that Ian Culverhouse will have a different opinion of that. He put a very different side out than usual, and that is up to Kings Lynn, who actually I thought did quite well in the second half. They didn't create too many problems for the Poppies, but they did keep Kettering's score line down, didn't they?
Yeah, they thwarted Kettering quite a lot up until sort of the end when it sort of became a little bit free shooting. But yeah, I think Alexander Streets pulled off a really good save from Dan Holman. Their defence was resolute. They stopped balls getting through. What was noticeable about that is how well they played the offside trap. They played a high line throughout the whole game, and it didn't come off from first half. Kettering were getting in behind quite a bit. But as the first half went on, the second half, the amount of offsides, because they were just so high and they kept stepping up. They had absolutely no fear whatsoever of the players running in behind. They just stepped up and stepped up and stepped up. And Kettering actually couldn't deal with that very well. You know, we must have been into double figures with offsides today.
15, I think.
Yeah, and, you know, it's through no fault of Kettering's. It was just good defence from Kings Lynn. They kept stepping up, and every time they did, it was just at the right time, because it's just when the Kettering players were making their runs forward. I mean, a few of the offside decisions were dubious, but you know, if you give the linesman a decision to make as a back line, he's going to make it one way or the other, and you know, it's paid off for them today, Kings Lynn.
That's the last we're going to see of Andre Borg for a few games. He's with the Maltese under-19 squad who are playing Albania. So he will depart for 3 games. I think it's Stamford, Royston and Stourbridge, maybe. If those games are still in that order, depending on cup results. Of course, I think the Colville game now, the home game, will be cancelled, I think it is, with this win. I'm sure
the next round of this.
Next round will take preference over that. So Colville will be put back again. So we have to wait and see. It's we're not getting many home games in the league, and there's going to be one big long fixture list of home games later.
We're not really getting that many home games in competitions that we could bring a crowd to either. I mean, FA Cup, that was away. FA Trophies away. This competition, a bit crowd wise, but you know, at home. But you know, then you know, say we've got the league games away. We're going to see at some point a deluge of games on Latimer Park. But it's more than likely going to come back end of this year, start of next year.
And the other thing is that we haven't taken into consideration yet, of course, is the weather.
Yeah.
And it's been quite kind to us so far, but if we get a bad winter, we always have 1 or 2 games that are postponed due to the weather of some way or the other. It's going to make it even more
Having said that, they are few and far between last couple of seasons with the work that's been done on the pitch and the great work by Graham Coles and his staff and family who look after the pitch. It's certainly come on leaps and bounds, and it's helped to bring down the amount of postponements. I mean, look, over winter, every team at this level is going to have postponements. I mean, you can have one of the best pitches in the country at this level. It doesn't matter. You're going to get a postponement. If you get a couple of inches of snow, it's going to be postponed. You can't help it. So, yeah, obviously that will be a factor. But, you know, that's ages away. We've still got, you know, double figures in games before we start really looking at postponements. We don't usually get a lot in December. It's usually January and February where they start coming in. So I reckon if the weather holds, we'll have a nice run through till sort of January, and then mid-January we might see a couple of cancellations.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get anybody else coming up again. Shake of the head over there from young Ryan. So we're going to close down now. But as I say, we will be at Stamford on Saturday. Myself and Ed. You can tune into that and see how we get on against AFC Stamford. Thank you, all of you that have been watching tonight. I think there was more watching or listening and watching tonight than there was actually at the ground. So thank you for that. And with that, we're going to say good night from myself and
good night from me.
Good night.
Bye.